As we walk these streets with diamonds in our eyes, out with the vampires under a midnight sky, my mind so hypnotized. It was exciting. It was the 90s. Mama didn't understand it, and Daddy always said that I was going too far. Said there's never any compromising if you try to win the battle to be who you are. I danced to the left, I danced to the right, hold hands with my demons and creatures of night, on an undercover mission to find somebody else like me. Is there anybody out there? Is there anybody out there? Someone who can hear me and drink from the light, to see things from the same side. Is there anybody out there? 5 years later, I'm out with the same old faces and dead end places. Things kept going wrong. I'm getting to thinking my daddy was right all along. So if you take a little walk on the wild side, be careful that you never slip your hands from the wheel. There's never any compromising when you're blinded by reflections from the part of you that's real. I dance to the left, I dance to the right, hold hands with my demons and creatures of night, on an undercover mission to find somebody else like me.
What's up, everybody? Saturday style, special style, 11:59 a.m. on the dial. And we canceled it Thursday, but we got it back for the weekend, my friends. Special style, the return style pre-stream should be a good one. And yes, we are ready to dial it in as we get ready to hopefully finish our debunk of Rambo and Howard's controversial video, at the very least. Salacious video, slanderous video. We're going to finish that, and then we're going to get you right off to the pre-stream, and then we'll bid you adieu until tomorrow, because that being said, we'll be on tomorrow, my friends. So what a day, what a weekend ahead, all right? What a weekend ahead. Big ups, everybody, for chilling. Let's start out right now with Mr. Extravagant, who says, another lore stream this soon? Oh, wait, you canceled the one on Thursday. I don't know what to believe now. Please don't cancel this one. Well, it's on, okay? Thursday was, that being said, style, noonish style for May Burst, so we didn't have enough time, but today we do. We come to correct that error today. And come the spelling of which you can make it up however you want. Nibbity in the house as well. So Saturday lore show. Got so excited, almost leaked my order number on stream. Oh, I'm leaking lots of things right now. So much is leaking right now. All right. Let's quit leaking and start speaking. So, recap. This is part 7, if you can believe it, of the DSP reacts to Howard and Rambo. Playlist link is below if you want to watch the whole fucking thing. But we are now into the part where some say the big climax, right? And that is where Rambo's telling the tale of getting messages from DSP in the middle of the night. So we went a little bit past this last time, but I think for context we got to keep this in. So we're going to start with when Rambo starts telling the story of getting texts from DSP in the middle of the night. So much so, in fact, that it woke him up. But here we go. Let's go as long as we can until the pre-stream starts, and then we'll get right to it. All right, here we go.
Let you know.
Yes, this is absolutely. This is an example of me pressuring him. Someone just
yes,
said,
thank you.
Absolutely.
Good.
This is the kind of pressure, because it wasn't just me texting him, but then I would say shit like that in my videos, and he would feel even more pressure.
Yes.
Like, if he doesn't want to be in my stuff, and then I say that in a video, why would he want to be in my stuff?
Makes
right?
sense, huh?
So yeah.
Come back from my trip. I got messages from him. I got messages from other people saying, "Why the fuck won't you talk to Phil?" Phil's upset. And
not really cool thing to do,
I'm kind of pissed about that, Howard.
Yeah, you should be.
Yeah.
So I'm kind of pissed about this. I don't contact. I basically say, look, I'm gonna keep holding him to what I said weeks ago.
Makes sense
which
to
is
me.
when I'm ready. I'm gonna do stuff. I will contact him. The following week, I get more messages. They mostly are like, "How are you doing?" And then as soon as you say "good," then immediately goes right into the videos. You know what I mean? Like that kind of thing. It's like a setup, and then videos. Are we going to make the videos? Let's do some videos. We need to tell people when we're making the videos. Let's do some videos.
Hey, John, how's it going? Well, doing okay. Videos!
Thank you for re-upping your membership. I appreciate that.
Hey, John, what's up? Having a good weekend? Videos! God, Jesus, man.
I don't respond to any of these messages because, like I said, I'm in kind of a bad spot. The episode had come out. Now I'm kind of like, all this time is kind of freed up, so I'm piecing my life back together, putting things back together, and I got things going on that actually matter beyond making videos with him. Okay?
Makes sense to me. But did you remember any videos?
I eventually get a message from him in the middle of the night, Howard.
All right. Thank you for re-upping your membership. I appreciate
And
it.
it wakes me up because I'm sleeping, and I'm pissed off because I have to work the next morning.
Oh.
So I believe I woke up, I'm pissed off.
Yeah.
Go back to sleep. I remember waking up the next morning and very quickly responding to this in a very nondescript text response.
Yeah.
Which was basically, please count me out for a while. I'm looking to move. I'm trying to get money together to move.
Remember, just for the context, remember, this is after Philip's been pressuring already for a while now, right?
YouTube isn't going to help with that.
Yeah.
which is in reference to doing stuff with him.
Thank you for re-upping your membership.
Okay,
I
So this
appreciate
is like Rambo trying to be as strong as he gets, I think, right? Because Rambo's not really combative style person. So he's saying like, all right, man, get the point. I'll let you know. I'm not doing YouTube for a while, man. Like this is him trying to be direct. He could have been more direct, but this is him trying to be direct finally.
My stuff that I was doing isn't monetized, and I'm not looking to, I wasn't looking to make money with that.
Yeah.
It's a creative outlet. And
Imagine
I said,
that,
I'm around
Philip.
most nights. Please call me. Okay? So, Howard, I'm thinking the next
I'm around most nights. Please call me.
day, Phil will call, right?
You think?
Because I basically expressed I'm having a tough time, and I said, please call me. So I'm thinking the next day is I'll get a call and we'll talk about things. What I would have told him was, hey man, I need maybe 2-3 months to get my stuff together, to get healthier, and
I look for a second there, Ikiro. I thought he was for a second too.
actually go to work and undo.
There was a wipe of both tear ducts there for a moment, but I think he was just feeling it, not quite any liquid coming out.
damage, which is again I did by choice. I'm not complaining.
Look at him. He's literally doing his nails now. Like completely the doing the nails meme right there.
Damage, which is again
That shows how much he cares about this. Look at this. He's doing his nails.
I did by choice. I'm not complaining.
Yeah.
But instead, what happens, Howard?
What happens
Is
next?
I'm going about my business the next day.
Yeah, right there.
I get a text from the Air Raid Lord.
Air Raid Lord
And-
gets involved. Now you know you got a problem.
He says, sorry to hear about what happened. And I go, what do you mean? He goes, I'm sorry to hear that you're leaving YouTube. I start getting other tweets from various people with similar sentiments.
Wow.
So I go, what the hell's going on here? So I go right to his channel, and I see that Phil did not actually call me. He instead made a video.
Oh, Philip.
Monetized video, by the way.
Oh, come on, John. Please. I monetize people dying. I'm definitely going to monetize saying you're out of YouTube.
Where he publicly reads the text out loud.
Oh,
All right, now the next thing that-
Philip. Oh, Philip.
That was a common question that people have been asking me for weeks, and I finally have a definitive update for you on this one. Is in regards to John Rambo. As you know,
Just gonna let it run. Just gonna let it roll. Let's get major progress before I say anything.
John Rambo
Major progress. It's not a video game, sir. It's your handling of a friend and your relationship with your best friend at the time. It's not an RPG. We don't need to get major progress. But thank you for not pre-bunking, I guess.
and I, when I lived in Connecticut,
Guys, major progress done on the Rambo debunk. Major progress.
Let it run. Just gonna let it roll.
We got to the checkpoint.
Let's get major progress before I say anything.
John Rambo and I, when I lived in Connecticut, pretty much almost every week, it was about 3 weeks out of the month, we'd do
Yeah.
co-op gameplay on a Saturday. We'd do our podcast called Smart Guys, where we would do live wrestling commentary on everything that's been going on over the course of that particular week in the WWE and sometimes in TNA and even Ring of Honor and other stuff.
Yeah, that was awesome. Pick up the
And we had plans that we were going to start a new show once I moved to the state of Washington, where it would be like a coast-to-coast show where I talk about stuff on the West Coast, he talks about stuff on the East Coast.
East and West Coast. You're watching WWE wrestling. Is there different news on the East and West Coast? Hey, Rambo, what's the scuttlebutt from the East Coast? Well, WWE over here is doing totally different things than the West Coast. Yeah, Philip, what's your West Coast take on this? What? That's not how it works. Unless they're following like indie wrestling, organizations, which is not the case, by the way. I know people that really care about wrestling could make that happen, right? Like East Coast indies, West Coast indies, but that's not what they're talking about here.
Where it would be like a coast-to-coast show where I talk about stuff on the West Coast, he talks about stuff on the East Coast, and we kind of, communicate once a week doing that. And everyone's been...
How cool would that show have been? And we did it like every week or every few weeks. We're talking about different coastal things. Imagine talking about all the shit that happened during, the Trump administration. Talking about all the shit that happened during COVID. That would have been an amazing show, I feel. What a lost opportunity there.
What? Oh, so it would have been like politics. How's COVID affecting the East Coast, Philip? Okay. Oh no, excuse me. How's the corona affecting the East Coast, Rambo? Good take. All right. Well, how's it affecting the West Coast, DSP? Here's my take. What the fuck would that be? How's politics over where you live?
Saying what's been going on with this? What is going on with Rambo? It's now been 2 months.
It's raining over here. Oh, cool. It's pretty hot over here. Oh, fun.
You've lived in Washington. You haven't done a Smart Guys, and I've been trying my best to keep you guys in the know and informed on what's going on. You know, John was very inundated with work and working on his show
Yes.
Schnozman and Hole Punch. And finally, the final episode of Schnozman and Hole Punch was released last week. To much acclaim. It's one of the best internet-based things I think I've ever seen in my life. It's really well done.
Really
Especially
well done.
for keeping in mind that John did 99% of the work himself, the filming, the writing, the editing. Really, he did everything himself.
He cares
the
about
music,
stuff.
Shit. And
Yeah, he actually puts work in the stuff he makes. But yes, go ahead.
didn't hear back from him after that. I texted him and congratulated him on the show, and I said, "It's great. You know, what are you thinking for our stuff now? When can we get?"
Great show, buddy. Loved it. What are you thinking for our stuff? Can't even give him a second to breathe after it was released. Great show, man. Loved it. So, videos?
Congratulated him on. And I didn't hear back from him after that. I texted him and congratulated him on the show, and I said, "It's great. You know, what are you thinking for our stuff now? When can we get
Damn, that's it? Great stuff. So, our videos.
started up?" So I hadn't heard from him. Finally, last night, I'll be honest with you guys, I was feeling kind of not frustrated, but almost worried that something had happened where he was
Sounds
pissed at me or
frustrated.
something, that he wasn't responding to anything that I was sending him. And so I went ahead and I texted him again. I'm gonna, I told you guys I'm the realest person on the internet. I got nothing to hide. I'm gonna tell you.
I have nothing to hide, yeah, but maybe Rambo didn't want this public? You ever think about that? I got nothing to hide.
Exactly what
I know, you just know it was. 1 minute after that video hit the internet, he is texting Rambo. God, can you imagine how quickly that was? Oh, video's out. Hey, Rambo, loved it. Anyways, how about the videos? How about our stuff? Oh, yeah, that video was great. Loved it. Anyways, videos.
we talked about.
Oh my God.
Text. And basically I said, here you go. I said, "Hey, John, I hope you're doing well. Haven't heard from you recently. I'd like to catch up with you, off camera. Don't worry about any filming. I just want to hear how you're doing. We haven't talked in a while, and it feels weird to me. I knew you had Schnozhole going on, but when you didn't respond at all to my..."
Schnozhole? Oh, is that like a nickname for it? I was going to make fun of him for making it wrong, but that might have been the nickname, Schnozhole. The real name is Schnozman and Hole Punch, but maybe that's like the in way to say it. Excuse me.
Text last week, it felt like something may be wrong. Just let me know. No pressure. I want to know where we stand and that you're okay.
Okay.
And then John did respond this morning, and he said,
Thanks for the death counter, DSP. Death counter 868. Perfect.
"Hey, you're going to have to count me out for a while. I need to get my money together."
Yes, correct, King Jad. Retcon reaction is not because of how he feels, because how other people react to this moment, including Rambo. He did not think anything was wrong in this moment at all. When he did this, he did not think anything was wrong with this at all.
So that I can move to a better place. YouTube stuff isn't going to help me with that. I'm around most nights if you ever want to call. So I did respond to him, and I said, "All right, in the next couple days I'll try."
Oh, you made a funny asshole. Yeah, that makes it much better. And you could say you really mean this. Good point. Great job.
to squeeze in a time
You're
when
doing great, buddy. This is definitely going to make people understand.
around most nights if you ever want to call. So I did respond to him, and I said, "All right, in the next couple days I'll try to squeeze in a time when I can call. I know there's a big time zone difference, but the bottom line is, it sounds
What was that, Philip?
I'll try to squeeze out. I'm around most nights if you ever want to call."
I'm around most nights if you ever want to call.
Also, I did respond to him, and I said, "All right, in the next couple days I'll try to squeeze in a time when I can call. I know there's a big time zone difference, but the bottom
So
line..."
Philip did say, I'll try to find a time to squeeze in a call. I'll try to find a time to squeeze in a call. The time zone difference is same as his parents. That is correct. So we're talking 3 hours. 3 hours. Okay? That's the time difference.
It sounds to me like John is just not interested in doing anything on YouTube right now. And I'm gonna talk a little bit right now, because I'm gonna be honest with everybody.
Oh, please. Why start now?
I think that John does not get the credit that he deserves. I
here we
think
go.
that John Rambo in particular actually puts in an incredible amount of work ethic, effort, and time into his work that people don't understand. I think that John, unfortunately...
Oh, yeah, make it bigger, Philip. That's going to make people feel bad for you and understand you more. Good point, good point. Good job.
Didn't get as much, if anywhere near anything, out of the stuff that he put into YouTube like I did, all right? So I'm going to give you a quick bit of history.
Oh, please.
Back when I started
not?
on YouTube on a whim, you know, I started doing gameplay or whatever, and I had this huge jump in popularity because no one was doing gameplay on YouTube like I was. Everyone was either doing professional level walkthroughs, or they weren't doing live commentary, or it was all nothing like raw, unedited, real gameplay like I was doing on YouTube. I was the only person doing it like that at the time.
No one was there was just less people putting out gameplay videos on YouTube. Yes, we got it.
And it became hugely popular. And then in that particular year, we were heavily into Street Fighter. We were playing Street Fighter 4. Years passing after that into 2009, 2010, John and I started doing co-op of gameplay and stuff like that. And so John that year actually qualified to go to Super Battle Opera in Japan. And at
by beating DSP, by the way.
Battle Opera, he documented everything. He went and he videotaped everything, and because he had a following of people who knew who he was from my content, he made his own YouTube channel, John Rambo Presents. He documented his whole trip to Japan.
Make it bigger, Philip.
Like, popular as hell.
Yes, that's definitely gonna work. You're doing it, buddy. Everyone feels bad for you now. Good job. This is the second time he's enlarged the text, as if that has some effect on things. He just really is looking for anything else to do than listen to himself, because he knows he sounds like an asshole. Iwamoto says, imagine DSP dating girls. Hey, I saw you were online just now. Why didn't you respond? Don't you like me? Hello? Oh, God. Dude, you saw him on the call with Angela? He was flipping out when she wasn't showing up. She's a little bit late. Yo, where's Angela, man? Where's she at? Come on. The clock's ticking down. Here we go.
Hell, people watch the hell out of the videos. They're like, wow, John, we love your footage. Would you consider doing gameplay of your own? Would you consider doing projects of your own?
MRBR, great fucking comment. Putting asshole on old you and not current you is DSP in a nutshell. Amazing comment. Amazing comment. Yeah, Wolverine Doll makes a good point, too. She wasn't late. He was an hour early. He just couldn't handle the wait.
At that time, John did a few things. He started a series called Games the Series, where he was just playing random games at a gaming store where he knew the employees there. And also with his other friends, off-camera friends who people didn't know. We're doing co-commentary with him. And then after a while, he decided he didn't want to do that he'd prefer to just do gameplay with me, and he went in his own direction on his channel, and he started doing things such as The Show, which is his weekly podcast with OJ, where for about 2 hours, the two of them shoot the shit. They talk about different topics. They do comedy skits. They have guests. They play music. They do all kinds of stuff. It's a 2-hour variety show that I'm very much a huge fan of. And it's funny because when the show started, we're talking some 2 to 3 years ago now, it was just a podcast, meaning there was no video. It was like just audio. You could listen to it as an audio show. And they would put up pictures and stuff that would go through, but it wasn't anything you needed to see. You could literally just listen to the show and be doing other stuff, and you missed nothing.
Okay.
Over the years, John Rambo's The Show has progressed so exponentially, like from being just a podcast to having all kinds of interactive art and things going on, to then having guests on the show, to then having video, and it became
okay. What's the point of this?
I feel like I'm doing a fucking another tribute.
Yeah.
Right? What the fuck am I doing here? I'm basically saying goodbye, John Rambo. Like, are you shocked that people contacted Rambo and said, "Hey, Rambo, you're never making content ever again. I'm sorry to hear you're leaving the internet." Like, what the fuck?
Why are you doing this memorial?
What am I doing?
Podcast where you could see video call and see people live on the show, to having all this video packages and things put into it. And then, of course, John, in 2012, when we were working on our own video series called Project 7, John was inspired creatively to do his own thing called Schnozman and Hole Punch, which is this show that he's been working on for 2 years and finally reached completion this past week. And it was a lot of effort and work. And I'm going to say this, I am angry because John does not get the viewership he deserves. I love his content. I think that the show, in addition to that Schnozman and Hole Punch, and anything that he puts out on that channel is great. It's gold. It's like, it's not, I would not miss it. I watch everything that he puts out on there.
This
just
is the
like,
fake glazing instead of, trying to be a real friend and calling. We're trying to do that thing because we don't know how to be real friends in real life. So we're just going to, claim we love everything he does. He deserves all this stuff, but we just can't call him because I don't know. I just don't know.
like I would watch every episode of a popular television show or every episode of, or even following a funny comedian and what work they work on. His quality stuff is that good. Now keep in mind, he's an individual. He's independent. He doesn't have studio backing him with millions of dollars so he can have crazy special effects and all that. He learned everything on the fly and he does it himself. Mm-hmm. And the thing that pisses me off is if you consistently look at John's content over the past several years, the stuff that he puts out on YouTube, it's gotten exponentially better and his views have gotten exponentially worse. When he started with the show, which was just an audio
Very cool to point this out to everybody, by the way.
That thing was getting tens of thousands of views. Now he struggles to even get a couple thousand views on it.
Why would I say this? Right? I'm burying him. I'm basically saying he's unsuccessful.
He fucking sucks now, dude. He can't get any fucking views.
This is the same shit that Review Tech USA ended up doing to me eventually on his channel.
Oh, wow. Make it about you real quick. Review Tech USA did the same thing to me. Just letting you know, though. He did the same thing. Don't forget that. Okay? Don't forget that. He did the same thing. Manga in the house says, come on, I've been edging for an hour. Where's Angela? Come on. It's wild to listen to that because he does get like that.
And I was like, dude, don't you understand, even if it's well-intentioned, that this just hurts things? It makes people talk shit and have drama.
Review Tech USA was never your friend. So it's a big fucking difference. Review Tech USA was reacting to all people online. And of course he made fun of you because everyone else on the internet was doing that as well. Rambo was your friend.
Podcast. I don't know.
Is this where he got the idea?
Nothing's changed. The quality has gone up.
Review Tech did that. Why can't I do that to Rambo?
Somehow the interest has waned. And a lot of people say to me, Phil, your content, well, you can say 100 things about me. That I'm an asshole, I'm a hypocrite, people hate me.
Oh, I'll say that. It's right there.
There's a slander campaign against me and yada, 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 yeah. My views have gone down, but not to the point where it's like I get 10% of what I used to. And John, unfortunately, that's what's happened to him. It's bullshit. What the hell happened over there? I have no idea. I've never seen anything where he attacked a
Eduardo, you want the Angelo? I'll find the link real quick. Hang on, I got it. I'll give you the link to that episode.
Or there was an argument, or he did something wrong. It just seems for whatever reason people gravitated away from his YouTube channel. And over the years, he's put so much work into the stuff that he's done. I know for a fact that he put a good 6 fucking months of work into the final episode of Schnozman and Hole Punch. And right now, you go over there, and of course, was he expecting a ton of views? No. What I would say is it's a success in regards to the people that watched it, loved it. So if a couple thousand people watch it and love it, I guess, mission accomplished. But
is that what you think?
I know for a fact that's his heart, soul, money, and time that was invested in that thing. And he even knew, so much so, that it was, at this point, just for the artistic vision and not for the fact that he was going to get anything monetarily out of it. He didn't even monetize the final episode of Schnozman and Hole Punch. So he knew from the get-go that the series over 2 years had declined in viewership so much that it wasn't going to be getting anything significant. And he didn't even bother putting ads on it because he didn't want the artistic vision ruined by
just
ads.
Assuming all this, by the way. Assuming all this.
Fucking popping up all over his work.
This is basically the nicest drag ever. I'm dragging him through dirt, mud, shit, feces, but I'm being nice
mud, dirt, shit, feces. Thanks for splitting up shit and feces, Philip.
About it. I'm still dragging him though.
So, John is a hard worker. John is a dependable person. And I really feel that, I don't know from what the cause was, that all of a sudden his viewership, declined like it did over the past couple of years. And I don't think he gets the credit that he deserves. And I feel bad when I get a text like that basically he's saying...
Nibbity, good point. He's complimenting his own insult. Yes, this is the nicest drag I've ever seen. Incredible. A lot of people telling me the best drag I've ever seen.
He's giving up on YouTube. Except for, I know he's going to continue to do his podcast, the show, but basically that he doesn't want to do anything on YouTube. He has to focus on real-life work to save up money and be able to move. That pisses me off. I hate that because that means that's a creative vision that's been crushed. You know, here's someone who's a very creative person who I know if he had the means to do it, that he could make epic series for the internet.
Yeah.
And he can't do it now. He has to go focus on 9-to-5 job because he needs to save up his money. And it's so disappointing, especially because I'm such a good friend of his. That is the
Oh,
situation.
yeah. Such a good friend we can't even call.
And all I can say is that, you know, from my standpoint and my perspective, work-wise, is it a disappointment that John's not going to be in my content anymore, or at least for the foreseeable future? Yes, absolutely. But at the same time, I'm an adult, and I realize that this is John's life and it's serious business, and that if that's his decision, I absolutely 1,000,000% respect it, and I say good luck to him, and I hope that, you know, he has massive success with whatever he's doing, so that he can actually, you know, start making some money, because YouTube didn't pan out, and that he can do stuff, you know, in his life to improve his life situation. I am the exception to the rule.
Oh, here we go. Here's why I'm so cool and he's not.
I am the lucky one. I am the one out of the million who tried to make it big on YouTube. I take that back. I didn't try to make it big on YouTube.
Yeah.
I just tried to get anything going on YouTube that could possibly work as a hobby. It blew up, and because it blew up at one time and I was the popular thing, I'm able to make a living doing it today, even though I'm not the popular thing anymore. I still have enough that I can make a living, but I'm the exception. Right? I'm the lucky one. And it sucks that someone like John, who has all that creativity, it didn't work out for him, and it's bullshit. And I hate a world where that's not fair. You know what I mean?
Okay.
It's not fair. It's not fucking fair. And I can understand...
Yeah, you could have paid him more than $100, though, so he could have had maybe a little bit more wiggle room and that kind of thing, but no, $100 is enough, right?
A lot of people that are frustrated, that just like John, who you have creative talent and you can't make it big on YouTube, and I understand. Because it's bullshit. It's not fair. It's kind of like perfect timing. You know what I mean? And it's perfect timing and luck of the draw. And I was the lucky one. And millions of people are not. And that's very frustrating to me because, as you know, John was an integral part of my work. John is my friend. I loved having work and friendship involved because it really was a great thing. But I knew when I was making this move to Washington that it had to be done. It was going to be a massive positive. So far, there has been a massive positive.
Which is?
And if anything, the one major negative right now is that unfortunately I'm not going to be able to do stuff with John. From time to time, I'm going to give him a call. I'm going to try to give him a call in the next couple.
All right, I'm going to give him a call from time to time. Did all this video before even calling him once. What?
Couple of days, hopefully we can catch up, find out what the heck's going on with him. And
this was the situation where I basically realized I just can't call a guy. I never had free time except night.
What's the time you realized after you said you would call him? That's unusual.
I'm going to try to give him a call in the next couple of days. Hopefully we can catch up.
Okay.
From time to time, I'm going to
call him.
Give him a call. I'm going to try to give him a call in the
next
couple of days.
Hopefully next couple of days.
We can catch up.
So we can catch up.
What's going on with him?
And this was the situation where I basically realized I just can't call a guy. I never.
Just can't call him because you didn't care that much. Yes, Petchy. John's an asshole for reacting to Phil's self-proclaimed asshole past self because he's no longer an asshole. Correct. Yes. You just figured it out. That's the key to this whole thing. That's the key to this whole thing.
What's going on with him? And
this was the situation where I basically realized I just can't call a guy. I never had free time except nights, late nights. You know, he'd be like, "Oh, just call me at night." I'm always streaming. Could not be streaming because I had to pay the bills. You know, I put myself in that situation. It's my fault. But even I say it in a video and then I didn't do it because I couldn't because I was stupid.
You know, if you want to keep in.
Okay, so you admit you are stupid then because you could wake up 15 minutes earlier and call, but. Or take 15 minutes late to stream instead of doing whatever the fuck you do for those breaks. Here goes to Pasta Maker. Says, I think Phil really did regret moving across the country with the child roommate to a place where he had no friends. He missed John, but since everything is a transaction to Phil, he could only express that loneliness through wanting to use John. Interesting. I think he didn't really care about his friends, right? Like, I think, like, socially you want to have friends, but, like, he can't let that side of himself out, really. That feeling that he really wants it. Like, nature would give you that feeling of wanting to have friends, I think, but he couldn't, like, he doesn't have that feeling himself like it's important, you know, enough. He doesn't think about it himself, right? Like, it's important to him, even though he feels the negative of that. Like, yeah, what is a friend? Does he know what a friend is even, right? That's a good point, Darius. Like, just what do they get? What do I get from them, right? Even though somewhere I know he feels negative feelings about it, but he might not even know that's from not like having a friend or interacting with people, you know? Logan K says, I think Philip never called John because he was afraid of being left on red. This is why he prefers to talk online to make people call him instead. Like, you're saying, like, if John never answered, then what, right? That puts him as, like, the loser in the situation. That could be, too, right? I think he's scared of what Rambo might say, too, right? Just, it's, you know, afraid of putting himself out there, even that little bit, to give him a call and say, hey, man, what if John was a little bit pissed, as he had the right to be? To say, hey, man, fuck you, man. All you worried about is videos. Like, maybe Phil was scared of hearing that, right? Scared of hearing the results of his negative actions toward John. That might be scary to him. So scary, in fact, that he wouldn't make the call, right? You know he's a baby about that stuff. So instead, we make a video about it, both right after the moment and then 10 years later, whatever the fuck, to do this shit, to try to make us look good, even though all it took was a call back then, right? I don't know.
In touch with John, definitely check out his YouTube channel, John Rambo Presents.
Oh, check it out. Yeah, nice plug.
He's going to be uploading weekly his podcast,
Great
and all that
plug,
stuff
bro.
is going to be continuing on over there. And I hope, again, I wish him the best, and I hope that stuff works out for him. And I'm going to be keeping in touch with him privately offline. I know this is a huge change for everybody, because we were all expecting, this wasn't something that John and I discussed before. It was a completely different story, and apparently there was this epiphany in the past 2 months where he just realized that he can't do YouTube stuff anymore. That's life. It is what it is. So, I just got to move ahead, and no hard feelings whatsoever to anybody. Seriously, how could I possibly have hard feelings for a guy who supported me, who was there for me, who we had a working friendship and a great business relationship for several years?
Oh, great business relationship for who? For who?
It was only that I chose to actively move. How could I be upset that he is moving on and doesn't want to be involved with that YouTube-related content anymore? I mean, I would be such an incredible egomaniac, selfish asshole. You know what I mean? And I'm not. I love the guy. I wish him the best, and I hope that stuff works out for him. So there you go. You know what I mean? There you go. That's the definitive answer. And if anything changes, like he said, count me out for now. He didn't say count me out forever. There's a possibility that...
He said for now. He didn't say forever, guys. So there's still a chance. He said for now. Leanna, listen to this. What do you think this means? He said for now, not forever. What do you think?
That maybe in the future there'll be big stuff coming up. Maybe, John's in a better situation in a year's time and he wants to do a big playthrough with me, or he wants to come back and do Smart Guys. Great. But I'm not going to push the issue. I'm not going to harass the poor guy.
Too late, bitch. Do you think Phil took it personally that John said, I don't want to do YouTube anymore? Since Phil makes his entire life revolve around videos, maybe he thought maybe he thought that if you said I don't want to do YouTube, Philip's like, oh, that means he's done with me too. Oh, it's me. He's done with me. But he said for now. I think it's a possibility. He wrapped them all together because there's nothing else they have together, right? As Philip himself explained. They talk for an hour about what they're going to record and stuff, or catch up, and then they record for the rest of the day. Dominic says he could drop this drama kid shtick anytime now. Shout out to Ludwig World Order. Big ups, chat. Big ups, Dominic. You're a legend. And Ludwig World Order, legend.
And say, oh, you're going to be my content, you're going to be my content. I'm just going to leave it as it is. And when John, makes a decision that maybe he wants to come back, he can. Now, unfortunately, what this means is what's going to happen to Smart Guys.
Here's how that affects me.
Right? Because this is what everyone... Phil, when's the next Smart Guys? I don't know now, because Smart Guys integrally... From day one, it was me and John, right? And we worked well off of each other. I had one perspective, he had another. A lot of times we had varying perspectives. We had different opinions on what was going on. And it was good the way that we played off of each other in that show. And would it even be worth it to continue that show when it's only one person? You know what I mean? Now, there is obviously a possibility to continue the show and maybe find people who are interested in pro wrestling who want to give their takes on what's been going on. We can maybe...
Yeah, I think Triple P is probably like, 15 years old at this point? He might be a future guest.
We have special guests that we rotate through, but I don't want to do that.
Get your Gahool's ready. Cypress TV's probably 10 years old at this point. I don't fucking know.
Without having input from people who have been fans of Smart Guys for years. I would be an asshole. I'm just going to change it. Fuck it. I want to hear everyone's
Ethan Ralph, he's up there. Ethan Ralph's got to be at least 30 at this point. Same age as Philip, right?
feedback. What do you think? Would it be better as a show that I continue by myself? Would it be better as a show where I have guests who maybe are rotating co-hosts on the show? Would it be better if maybe I tried to find a one person who could be a co-host permanently?
Find a one person.
Is that it? Should I just retire the show completely and just continue on? As you guys know, for the past 2 months, on Saturdays, I'm just doing
Look, yeah, he's
gameplay
already
streams.
out
Should I just
later.
do that instead? So I would definitely like to hear...
He's acting like John is literally dead. Fuck him, man. He's out. All right, so we can get the following... we can get a lot of new people, though. That's no big deal, man.
your opinions on all that stuff, whether it's on Twitter at They Call Me DSP, whether it's in the comments of this video. Please go ahead and submit me all that and let me know. I will mull it over. I'm not going to promise anyone Smart Guys is returning soon because I want to think about it for a while. And in particular, with this hardcore gaming season coming up, I may be
Can't forget that,
stuff
obviously.
anyway. Maybe this was the right time for this to happen, but I'd like to hear your opinion and
The
feedback.
right time for this to happen?
So I can't
Jesus.
say that because ultimately, I felt that the show had no purpose without John. That show was not just me; it was me and John.
Okay.
Without John, it wasn't Smart Guys anymore. I dabbled with the idea that maybe I would just do a new show. I just ended it, and you know, at that point, I didn't have any more pressure to really watch pro wrestling, but I did. I continued to watch it for several years, but
Yeah, because you like it, man. We pretending we don't like it outside of the show. Well, come on.
you know, at that point, I didn't have any more pressure to really watch pro wrestling, but I did. I continued to watch it for several years, but yeah, I mean, is
Yeah,
there
because you like it? That's your fucking biggest hobby of your entire life? Yeah, it makes sense. I didn't have pressure to watch wrestling. Okay, well, you liked it anyway. Not like it's some big thing.
anything defensible in that? I mean, I could have literally said, hey guys, so I heard from John, and we're not going to be doing anything for a while, if ever. I'll let you know if it ever changes.
Oh, yeah, he has to pretend Down from the Rafters isn't him. Good point. Yeah, we're still denying Down from the Rafters at this point in the timeline.
None of your business. Why? It's none of your business. Seriously. But back then, again, I was so Mr. Transparent. I got to share everything with everyone. I got to document everything. Keep in mind, I was filming all over my house. I was filming all over everywhere I went. I was an idiot. Now, that's completely different. Like today, I would just say, oh, fuck off. None of your business, man.
Right.
Stop getting in our business.
Right.
You know? Do I want to do content with John? Yes, but we're not. Too bad. I'll let you know if and when we are and deal with it. Right? But I wasn't like that back then. I didn't have boundaries.
Uh-huh.
So John texts me saying personal shit. I read it like an asshole. And then I
After he said to call him.
bury him for like 40 minutes. I bury the guy. Oh, his content's good, but no one watches it. It's a
Yep.
shame. I mean, in one way, I'm alluding basically it's the YouTube algorithm. The YouTube algorithm used to pick up content and push it, and it
You
would be
didn't say anything about the algorithm, but cool retcon, man.
popular, and then the YouTube algorithm changed.
Cool
And just
retcon.
like my channel, his channel had been suffering too. But I didn't have to say any of that. Again, you have to understand that when you're going to say negative shit about someone or something, it's going to just be tossed at them. And that's exactly what Review Tech did to me for years. He would make
Oh,
videos
yeah,
up-
let's bring someone else did this to me, too. Okay, Review Tech did this to me. Don't forget about that. Dumb fuck.
Thanks for the membership.
Did you forget that Review Tech did this to me also? How dare you? I've also had people fuck with me. Huh?
Oh, DSP Gaming is failing. Look, the views are going down. Phil has to make drastic action now or he'll go out of business.
Yeah.
Like, dude, Rich, why'd you make that fucking video? Don't you understand?
He was not your friend, and he's a drama YouTuber.
And that when you make that video, people now will come and laugh at me and deride me and do nasty.
He is not your friend, and he is a drama YouTuber doing what drama YouTubers do. Okay. Yep. Same exact situation. Very, very good reference here, Philip. Good thing to bring up. Visions are off except for the That Being Said videos, guys. But I'll put them on tomorrow when we get a That Being Said show.
Things towards me and say, oh, what did you know? I didn't understand that back then because I was a fucking idiot. Now I get it, but this is like, 7 years later, 8 years later. Older
So
and
what?
wiser now, but back then, that was the dumbest thing I could have possibly done in the situation.
Got
I was
that
completely
right.
in the wrong.
Whatever reason.
Got that fucking right. Big ups, Joe Dub. Phil could have had the asshole text on his footage now and it still apply. Yeah, but it's very telling that he put it on the past Philip, not the current Philip, right? That's my favorite good metaphor for how Philip thinks about things, right? Big ups, Meth Bear says, John said call at night. Phil wouldn't because that's when Mommy said the train at Sleepy Time Junction left the station and adults get mature sleep. Oh, I didn't think about that. That is when adults go to sleep. Good point, Meth Bear. Good point. And big ups, Jacob. Big ups. Let's go.
He goes on to give me a bunch of compliments and then kind of buries me after that, which is a weird mixture of
I did
he likes
bury.
To do sometimes.
It was a happy burial.
It's okay if I speak negatively because I complimented you first.
It was like, you're great,
okay, right?
but you're still failing.
Exactly.
Yeah, very
he does
weird.
The same thing where he goes, I'm going to be honest with everyone. Like the usual spiel.
Yep, that is the usual spiel, isn't it? I'm going to be honest with everyone. And John fucking knows it back then.
I'm going to be honest with everyone. That usual spiel. He talks about how John's giving up on YouTube. He doesn't want to do stuff on YouTube anymore. He kind of implies like I'm upset about views. I'm not getting enough credit or views or money, and very far from my feelings on things.
That's awesome.
I don't think I ever. It's very hard to make the argument that I tried to make a living on YouTube or I tried to make money on YouTube. Okay, the stuff I put out is not going to reach a lot of people. It's not really possible. It's a two-hour podcast, which is weird. It's a web series that's weird.
Yes.
It's very different than taking a video game that millions of people know about.
Correct.
It's advertised and doing a playthrough. People could find you in a search. And like for my stuff, I know what the ceiling is. Like the first Shazman Whole Bunch episode, however, is like 20,000 views.
Yeah.
That's my ceiling. It's not 200,000, 2 million, 20,000. I then spent the next 3 years making more of those, knowing what that ceiling is. There's never a goal to get fame or money. It's like this is what I like to do. This is what I want to make. The show we've done, almost 200 episodes. We know what the ceiling is.
Yeah, exactly.
So I get all these messages from people saying, I always liked your content. Sorry to hear you're leaving.
Wow.
In the same video, he talks about how he's the exception. I'm the one in the million. That can do this. That could make it. Well, congratulations, man. Again, we don't make the same type of content. And he refers to himself as the realest motherfucker on the internet.
Yeah,
stupidest motherfucker on the internet.
Spewing misinformation. When he could have just called. And by the way, Howard.
Yeah.
Yep.
He has never actually called me to this day, which is.
Oh, Philip! Oh, Philip! The easiest thing to do. The way to kind of come off as not the hugest asshole possible. To give him a call. The thing a real friend would do first. The thing a real friend would do before all else. Philip chose not to ever do. Instead, guilt trip both in text and in public YouTube videos. Even claiming in those videos that he would call him, but never doing it. Just endlessly texting about videos. I mean, that says it all right the fuck there.
15 months later, well, maybe 13 months, he's never actually called.
Yeah.
And in this video he said, I'm going to call him.
Yeah.
He's never actually called me.
Yeah. Now do you want I don't know, I just why don't you roll into the next bit?
All right, hold on.
Let's roll into the next bit. Philip, we're going to talk about time zones again. 3-hour different time zones. 3-hour different time zones again. Well, we're going to bring that up again.
So
yeah,
I feel like as a friend you would call and you say, what's going on? Is there something I could do to help you out? Which is what you did when we would talk, right?
Yeah.
And you would check in once in a while. And
I called John maybe once a week just to see how he's doing.
And I would tell you, this is what's going on, and
Yeah.
It's not that you could fix this.
Get Philip doing a quick pull. This is a quick coping pull. Self-soothing pull. Let's see what you get.
situation. I'm not looking for someone to be like, I'm going to fix your problems. It's,
Ooh, Sable. That's a good one.
talking it out, right? Let you know I support you, that kind of thing.
Go for a double. Oh, Shawn Michaels.
So that's that. And I want to talk about this. He'll often say,
Self-soothing pool. Nice.
I'm the realist. I'm the most, here's honestly this. Here's the truth of the matter. When people do that, they're usually doing it for a reason. It's usually because they're not telling the truth.
Yes.
That's false.
Oh, yeah, definitely.
For a reason. Here's the truth of the matter.
Yes.
When people do that, they're usually doing it for a reason. It's usually because they're not telling the truth.
That's false.
Yes, that's true.
For me, I have a lot of mannerisms and things that I say in my dialect, talking
In my dialect.
to people on the internet every single day, all day long for 14 years. When I say,
Yeah, so you can't just change what words mean. When I say this is the truth of the matter, that means something else than this is the truth of the matter? Is that what we're saying here?
the truth of the matter, or the bottom line is, or I'll be honest with you right now. What I'm doing is trying to emphasize that what I'm about to say has weight or importance.
Ah, okay. So we just make stuff up. Ah. Okay, we could just pretend things mean different things than what they actually mean. Oh, that's pretty cool. That's pretty cool. Okay.
What I'm doing is trying to emphasize that what I'm about to say has weight or importance.
Ah.
Okay? Maybe I'm dicking around right before that, making a joke, cracking, making a stupid comment, laughing, dicking, being silly. But I'm trying to tell you.
Got dick on the mind there. He wanted to go back to the dick. Hear that? Listen.
Cracking, making a stupid comment, laughing, dicking, being silly. But I'm trying to tell you, okay, the silliness is over. I'm about to talk about something that's kind of important, so listen up. That's what I mean when I say that. And it's a quick way to say that without having to say, oh, by the way, guys, I'm about to drop all the levity and serious to be serious right now, so listen up. I just say, hey, the truth of the matter is, or hey, here's one important. Listen, but he is taking it like every time I say that it's something a lie. That's ridiculous. That's
okay. Well, it's definitely true. I mean, especially the people that say it all the fucking time, right? If it's part of your normal dialect, as he says. What did he say again? Mannerisms of his dialect. I mean, if it's part of your mannerisms of your dialect, it's like, all right, something's fishy about this individual. When they use it every other sentence, right? J-Dog says, Phil's the realest guy on the internet talk is so funny because of how obvious of a faker he is. You'd have to be a Phil fan to buy that gimmick. Absolutely. You'd have to be a DSP fan to believe the shit he says. And you have to be a DSP fan to believe this right here. Oh, yeah, when I say, here's the fact of the matter, that doesn't actually mean the fact of the matter. It means listen up. I might have been dicking around previously, but now going forward, I will be serious. Oh. Too quick, Els says, since John has been talking, he's been scratching his crag and now pulling. He can't handle when Rambo drops truth bombs, so he needs to self-soothe. Nibbity says, imagine being ESL and learning phrases from Phil. Yeah. I taught English in Japan. I should have done that. Now, when you say the fact of the matter is, it doesn't mean you're going to tell the truth. It means previously I was joking around, but now I'm serious. So listen up. But it doesn't mean I'm telling the truth. Keep that in mind. Okay?
Again, negativity, toxicity that's seeped into his opinion of me, thinking that because I say those things all the time in my dialect, it means that I'm always lying.
Okay.
Couldn't be further from the truth, but he feels that way at this point. You see? So I have no defense at all. I never should have read the text. I never should have made basically a burial segment in that podcast about I love his content, but it doesn't get attention. I did make it sound like he was retiring from the internet, although oddly enough, I say he's still doing his own show. So how is he retiring from the internet if he's still doing his own show? I don't make sense. I'm listening back to myself, and I don't make sense in that clip.
Makes sense.
It's a very, very bad clip. That's why I put asshole over it, because that's probably out of all the things I did in this video, probably the worst thing. Okay.
Every time you spoke,
let's just move past it. Meth Bear, with his usual Meth Bear comment, says, like a woman saying my truth, meaning a fantasy. Wow. Every case is different, in my opinion, Meth Bear.
Could you go, you know...
Sometimes that is the truth.
Here's the honest truth of it. Let me be honest with you for a second.
Here we go.
I'm the most honest. I'm the realist. That's a warning sign.
Yes.
Because why you feel the need to
Quick pull again. Here's another pull.
say that?
What'd you get
Because
this
I'm joking
time?
half the time when I'm talking with you guys.
On his next video,
Philip had to retcon this on the fly style. Listen to this.
you feel the need to say that.
Because I'm joking half the time when I'm talking with you guys.
On his next video,
I'm trying to make levity on my streams. I want you to know that I'm saying something that I feel is important or truthful at that point. I'm not being a dick or a jokester, teasing anyone or making a dumb comment about a game. It's something important. That's why I do that, to break it up. It's not like in the middle of a conversation I would just say that.
Thanksgiving video, he talks about
Okay. Thank you for that extra added emphasis, Philip. Thank you.
I have no idea what I did wrong. I didn't do anything wrong. If you go to that video from August where he's reading my text, there's random people in the comments, man, and on Twitter and whatnot, that don't know Phil personally, don't know me personally.
Yep.
Well before there's a problem, that there's an obvious problem between us publicly. There's people that are saying maybe you shouldn't read someone's text out loud like that.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
So there's
Amongst other comments like, you're a piece of shit, you ruined your own life and John Rambo's,
Oh, let's do pity party time, boys. Yeah. Let's start the pity party, huh? Yeah, get it going. Also, be sure to share the negative stuff people said. Don't forget about this, everybody. People call me an asshole as well. You ever think about that?
You're a piece of shit, you ruined your own life and John Rambo's, a million other insulting
definitely.
things. You can only, at that point, take comments seriously to a certain extent. I'm not saying the comments weren't correct, they were, but I wasn't actively
then
reading
why
my
you bringing
comment.
it up then? Then why you bringing it up?
It's for anything of any intelligence. It was basically a lot of toxicity and trolling there. I didn't really pay attention.
people.
Oh, definitely. I didn't really pay attention. Definitely makes sense. That's why you're bringing it up 12 years later or whatever. 8 years later.
That will watch and immediately go, why are you reading someone's text out loud?
Yes.
Obviously, it's a private message. Why are you doing that? But here we are all these months later, and he still has no idea. But random people can figure it out immediately after watching the video.
Oh, those are normal people. Yeah.
So that was pretty much it. That kind of broke the back right there, man. Because again, you had to pull the stuff in the past, which many times saying things publicly that's saying things publicly about me that's not true, and then saying please don't do that. And here we go, like the biggest infraction of all, in my opinion. It's a big thing for me.
See you later, Mace. Mace was a longtime fan watching this all day. He has to go. We're in the home stretch. I'm done within less than 20 minutes. We'll be done.
I mean,
We'll
trust,
see.
Because how do you really be friends with someone if you can't trust them? How do you tell them things? Part of a friendship is kind of like the intimacy of it. You know what I mean?
Yep.
You share things about your feelings or family or whatever.
Yeah.
That's kind of, it's gone right there, man. So I don't respond to it. I don't say anything publicly. My reaction's basically like, all right, he said he's going to call me. In that video, he actually says he's going to call me. Let's see if he calls.
Again,
Go
I
ahead.
could not call, and that's
Go ahead, Philip. Why couldn't you call?
Let's see if he calls.
again, I could not call, and that's my fault. My lifestyle was wake up, record, broadcast, upload, record, broadcast. Oh, I have free time at 10 at night, which is 1 a.m. his time.
Wake up 15 minutes earlier. We are pretending you need multiple blocks of time to call somebody. 15 minutes, man. 15 minutes. My lifestyle determines my call style. Time zones.
I can't call him. I texted, and he didn't like the text.
Yes.
He wanted a personal call. I did not give him a personal call.
Big
I
ups,
just texted,
Magoo.
and he didn't like that and ignored my text.
So, in the interim, I'm gonna roll into this one. In the intern, in the middle of this, he starts sending text messages. First, he starts with John, starts sending John these text messages, like in the middle of the night. So now,
Oh, Philip! This is one of the best parts. Liberty says, if you truly care, you make time. It's pretty simple because of how little work it requires. It's pretty simple because of how little work it requires, my friends. It's not asking you to create some massive party for John Rambo. We're not trying to plan his bachelor party. We're not trying to do all this shit that actually requires real work. We're asking for a phone call, which means go to sleep 15 minutes earlier than usual, wake up 15 minutes earlier than normal, and give him a call. Or, how about this? During the break in between streams, which he definitely has, while babysitting the uploads, call John Rambo. How about that? He's not across the world either. He's not on the other side of the world. He is literally 3 hours away. What? It's insane. If you think about it that way. Joe says, well, we'll see if I can add you into my schedule, John. Yeah. Well, you see my gaming schedule? It's the hardcore gaming season. It's amazing how this is part of it. He said, I can't do it.
sending John these text messages, like in the middle of the night. So now, when you do the math,
This is 2015 now. This is much later, and again, this is why the timeline is skewed.
Timeline. Yeah, let's bring up the timeline. That'll make you look better.
He makes it sound like, oh, this is happening right now in 2014. Nope. This is 2015. 2015 was the worst year of my life at this point, besides maybe late 2000s when I was feeling almost suicidal.
Late 2000s when I was feeling almost suicidal. Imagine bringing that up for pity as well. Late 2000s we were feeling suicidal? I don't remember that. Do anyone else remember that? I don't remember hearing that. Late 2000s he was feeling suicidal? Oh, that was when Angela didn't go for him. This is just to make you feel pity, man. Bringing that up.
Maybe late 2000s when I was feeling almost suicidal.
Yeah, I was feeling almost suicidal. Helicopter job with new condo? I guess so.
Everything was falling apart at the seams. My channel was being insanely destroyed by trolls and fake copyright strikes. I was being DDoSed. I got swatted. My personal life was falling apart here with my significant other. I was feeling awful. And this would have absolutely been a time in my life when I absolutely would have loved to have some friends to talk about it. But
Yeah, he said late 2000s. So that's like YouTube's golden years. Right? I mean, we're on the way up.
now been ghosted by John Rambo. Not Howard, because I didn't talk to Howard. But I'd been ghosted by John Rambo ever since that late 2014 situation. I had not.
He asked you to call him, and you said you would. That means the balls are dangling in your court.
Heard from him since then. I did try from time to time to reach out to him and say, hey, I hope you're doing well, this and that, and he just completely ignored me outright. Okay? So what they're about to reveal is truthful information.
Okay,
I'll explain
sweet.
what's going on for the first time after they are done talking about it.
right? John starts getting text messages at 6 o'clock in the morning. That means it's like 2 o'clock in the morning there.
Oh, God, that's early.
So
that's the beginning of the fun for Philip.
When you start reading them, you start looking at it, and it doesn't make any sense why he's even texting. and it's not even coherent. So you start wondering if the guy was, like, if he's been drinking and texting.
God, yeah.
Yeah, it's weird.
It's really
Quick self-soothing pull right here. Hang on.
weird. So basically, I called John up,
Ooh, Papa Shango. That won't help.
and John goes, yeah, he's texting me. It's really weird, and he keeps texting me, and I'm not responding back, and and like when he texts, like he's sending these messages, like he does feel sorry on one end, but and then he says something that like later that contradicts it completely. So
I don't know what happened there.
You just get to the point where like this is not a good.
Not an important thing, buddy. Concentrate on what they're telling you.
This is not good to have in my life.
yeah,
Yes.
it's not
That's sad
good to
because
have. Yeah,
It doesn't mean you hate the person. It doesn't mean that you wish them ill. It's like you hope they could fix whatever they got going on,
Yeah.
but they're just doing too much damage to you and themselves. You know.
Yeah, and then you look at it and you're like,
That's what it's
you
like.
know, there's no consistency to what. There's no rhyme or reason, no consistency to what he does. So and then John goes like, just get ready because you're probably going to get a text message. So a few weeks ago, what does he do? He texts me, and it's weird because he starts off with like,
So you text Howard, Philip. Why, I wonder? The not friend Howard, why are you also texting him? I thought we don't care about him. You just said that 10 seconds ago. That's really
All right.
weird.
Thank you for re-upping your membership. I appreciate it.
Oh.
hey,
So I heard you hate me now or something.
yeah,
Like, based
he goes,
on what?
hey,
Yeah?
I haven't talked to you in a while. I hear you and John both hate me now.
Yeah.
No one, I haven't talked to this guy in like
Is there someone, is there someone telling him the wrong
Yeah.
things? I don't know.
I have-
maybe
I have-
there is.
I have.
Yes. All right, you ready for the explanation?
Oh, you ready for this explanation? It's definitely truthful. Ozzy says, imagine how sloppy and I know, God. Can you imagine these texts? We saw the Triple P texts, and they're embarrassing enough. But imagine throwing more alcohol into that mix. God damn. You know they're gold. You know that's some pure gold. He uses his wife as a human shield, says John looking like a llama. Now, let me see if you're right on that. Hang on. I'm not saying you're wrong. You kind of can see it. There is something, there's a llama-esque feature there. I mean, it's not insane. You kind of get what you're saying, though. Like, you know, you say llama, it's like, okay, funny llama. But then if you think about it, it's Rambo's new groove. There is something there. I get your point. All right, here we go. Here is the story of all stories. This is why, the truth of the matter, of course. Listen up.
It's not good. It's terrible. I was depressed as shit that year. Everything was falling apart around me. I was actually afraid I was going to lose everything. I thought that my YouTube channel was going to basically be shut down, or I was going to have such a loss of monetization on my YouTube channel that I was going to not be able to pay for anything. I was not going to
Missed the part where that's Rambo's problem.
be able to pay for my home. I was not going to be able to pay for anything at all. And like I said, at the very same time, with all the horrible things that were happening to me that year, my personal relationship also had fallen apart at the seams. And late 2015 into, say, the first half of 2016 was a very tumultuous time. With so much shit going on behind the scenes that a lot of people don't even know about. We're not going to get into that. Some of that is addressed in the Down the Rabbit Hole React that I've already done. But
like
essentially, I was really, really, really fucked up in the head at this point. I was heavily drinking all the time at night. I would basically do a full day of content on the internet for you guys, and then I would drink myself to sleep because I was fucked up. I was depressed as shit.
Why is that different than any other time?
I was going to get out.
Why is that different than any other moment in your career, by the way?
Out of it. There's no light at the end of the tunnel. I wasn't enjoying what I was doing for a job anymore. I was jaded. I hated everything around me, essentially, at that point. And then, some late nights, I'm not kidding. I know this sounds fucking pathetic as shit, because it is.
Yep, go ahead.
There were some late nights when I would
That same thing you did in Connecticut, by the way, yes.
get drunk and I would start reminiscing about the past. I would start reminiscing about the times when I would do co-op with John, or we would do Smart Guys. And so I would actually be drinking like crazy and then watch our old content together. And be depressed.
Oh, God! Oh, man. Oh, I need my boyfriends. That is legitimately sad, man. Imagine that. Like, I get it when you, like, you know, we've all had breakups in our life before, and you're sad. You might bring up the pictures, you know, and you get sad. Hopefully you have the strength not to text them. That's never a good idea, guys. Don't do that. But you do check the old pictures and miss, you do miss. But imagine doing that with John Rambo, your bro that you know from gaming, watching your old playthroughs. It wasn't even a breakup. Yes, Philippe, that's true. All he had to do was call.
Engagement today. I appreciate it.
All you had to do was call. Oh, God.
Crazy. Or we would do Smart Guys. And so I would actually be drinking like crazy and then watch our old content together and be depressed as fuck and fall asleep watching it. Okay? Play through.
Oh, my God.
And everything, and then it got to the point where what happens when you're a drunken, depressed idiot mess. I already had done this before in my life, and here I am doing it again in 2015. I start sending out texts and shit at night in the middle of the night when I shouldn't be. Everyone's asleep. I'm drunk as fuck. I'm stupid. I'm sending out these texts. Oh my God, John, I'm so sorry. I hope we can make up. I don't know what happened. If I did anything to fuck over your life or whatever, I hope that you'll forgive me. Shit like that. Pathetic shit. It is pathetic. Is it really an attempt for me to reach out to him and mend our relationship? Probably not. It's fucking me being depressed in the booze. It's not genuine. It's fucking me feeling bad. All right? And there's no excuse for it. It's disgusting, actually. I'm actually...
No, it is disgusting. You could have fucking called at any point to end this, but all right.
Very upset with myself that I did it. And it happened for a while. It wasn't just like, it happened once or twice. It was like, over a course of months, I know I kept texting John like that sometimes at night. And I know he was very upset, and I was shocked he didn't block my number. Seriously, I'm shocked he didn't, block the shit. How's he putting up with this? And again...
It's like he's laughing too much. It's too funny. How would you ever block that?
He never responded. So it wasn't like, hey, fuckface, stop doing this, you dumbass. Like, what are you doing? I don't fucking want text from you anymore. Stop bothering me. It's just nothing. Silence.
Yeah.
I'm speaking into the void. All right? Which, I don't know how much you guys know this, but when you're depressed and you're not getting any response, it just makes you feel worse. And by the way, this is not blaming them. This is me. This is all on me, not them. This is them 100%. And this eventually led to self-destruction and the culmination of what happened, them making this video, because what they're talking about, when I texted Howard out of nowhere, I didn't text the guy since I fucking moved. So I texted him and say, hey, I heard you guys hate me. Oh, that is true.
Yeah, so you did care about his feelings towards you. Absolutely. Let's try not to retcon this too, huh? We're going to try to retcon that as well? And he's still blaming John Rambo for not responding at all. Did he tell me he hated these texts? No, he didn't say anything. So, I mean, he kind of said he likes it, actually, because he didn't say he didn't like it. He's trying to sneakily say that, by the way. That it's John Rambo's fault for all this. Joe in the house says, I don't blame Panda for crashing out if she had to wake up to smart guys in the background every morning. Well, that just shows I don't think they lived. They don't.
That I'm living with is gonna yell at me.
He will yell at you. What that means is they didn't sleep together either, right? At that point, absolutely not. He's just watching that fucking phone in hand, watching smart guys endlessly, drunk to a stupor. Watching their old playthroughs. He's not sleeping with Panda at that point. No chance. Just like he's not sleeping with Catherine now.
I did hear that they hated me. So after all this time that this is happening, all right, and I was getting more and more increasingly depressed, as you saw, occasionally I would talk about them in my videos, and I believe it was a stream or something that I had mentioned them. I get an email from someone stating, hey, Phil, just so you know that you're so, upset about Howard and John, not Howard and John, just John not talking to you.
Okay.
So I just want to let you know that I ran into them. I was at a YouTube thing in New York. I think it was one of their studio things. And I guess John and Howard were there together. They were filming. Now, being a fan of you, I walked up to them and I approached them and I wanted to introduce myself and said, hey, I love your stuff. Yeah. By the way, what's going on with you and Phil? Phil, now for it says like almost, half a year, hasn't heard from anyone. What's going on? To which they responded to the person and said, we don't want to associate with Phil anymore.
Yeah.
All the shit going on with him, all the drama going on with him.
Okay, yeah, like that sounds like something John would say. It sounds like we don't really associate with him, but we wish him all the best.
you know, we have some personal issues with him
Yeah,
that we
okay.
don't want to discuss with
Okay.
you,
Okay.
but we want nothing to do with him. So we wish him the best, but we
Okay.
want nothing to do with him. Now, they said as much in this very video.
Let's see how they describe it.
They actually revealed this, that they had said that to people at events just like this, okay? So
It's
one
the air conditioner, NWO News.
of those people told me that this is what happened. And here I am the whole time. I'm in the dark. They're not, you know, again, John had never responded since like the fall of 2014 in any way, shape, or form, not returning texts or anything. And what I hear is that they hate me now, basically, you know? I heard they hate me now.
How does that mean they hate you?
That really made me feel good in 2015,
All
right?
right, let's see,
When
let's
I
see.
already was at one of my lowest points of my life. I was depressed and drinking. So it just exacerbated the whole situation. Okay? So, again, this has nothing to do with them doing anything wrong. You know, they have the right to shut down the friendship. They have the right to not talk to me. 2015 was an awful, awful year for me. And I was a drunken, depressed fucking mess. Now, when you are a depressed mess, I talked about this a bit.
Okay.
In of all things, my reaction to the Wings of Redemption Down the Rabbit Hole video. That was over a month ago. You can watch that right here on the channel if you'd like.
Oh, yeah.
And I talked about when you're depressed, sometimes you do things for no logical reason. Only because you know that doing those things will destroy something and feed further into your depression. All right? This has happened to me many times over my life where I get so depressed about something that I then purposely do things to ruin a friendship, to ruin a relationship even further than it's already been damaged. There's people who literally out of the blue, I decided I would just not speak to them ever again. This was very early on when I was like in my early 20s.
This sounds like a really cool thing to do. Okay, so we just don't talk to people randomly?
Well, never speak to that person ever again. Fuck them. There's people who've been nothing but nice to me in my life, and I shut them out. Okay? And again, this is not me justifying it. It's wrong to do this. But I've done it many times in my life. Whenever I feel depressed, this seems to happen. It's a running pattern with me and alcohol. Okay, I get very bad when I get depressed and drunk. I do stupid shit. Okay, so all that being said,
so still an alcoholic at this point, and he knows it.
I was at a point in 2015 where I was at such a low. I was at that point, and so I decided, since these guys are not going to talk to me, I've now found out that they hate my guts from someone who has talked to them in person, and they have not told me this up front. I will force them to, and then at least we will have closure, right? So I forced their hand. I started talking about them in videos. There was the Thanksgiving Ask the King, where someone directly asked. That was the very beginning of this whole event.
Okay, this seems like a big retcon.
On purpose. It was a calculated move.
Okay, Vikes makes a good point. So it's a way of secluding yourself from everyone else. If everyone hates you, you get to stay yourself. It's weird and bad. That seems like what he's doing here, isn't it? That does seem like what he's doing. People that don't like your behavior, you can just say fuck them and cut all ties with them, because then you don't have to hear about them bitching. You get to do what you want to do, right? So that does make sense. But this seems like a big retcon here about this is all part of a plan of his to get them to respond because he wasn't man enough to call.
On purpose. It was a calculated move to force them to react.
Makes sense.
But I was thinking they would react to me and say, hey, Phil, in private, shut the fuck up. We had enough of your shit. We don't want to be friends with you.
King Snake
We've
here.
moved on. Leave us alone. I fully expected that's what was going to happen. I thought maybe on a shocking whim, perhaps they would say, oh,
shocking whim.
We're sorry about all this. Let's work it out. I didn't think that was going to happen. I thought it was going to be the former. It was going to be destroy everything. Burn it all down. That's what depression does, man.
Okay. Blame it on
makes
depression.
You want to destroy it all. And then you say, fuck it all. I don't care after the fact that everything's destroyed. I was already feeling like shit. Why not just destroy everything around me too? Right? So that's why I acted like that. And it's incredibly embarrassing. It was all public too. It wasn't even like, oh, you know, this is public shit I was saying on my podcast, public shit that I was saying in my videos. And then behind the scenes, I'm drunk texting these guys. Shit.
Yes.
And I know they didn't believe me. I'm not stupid. But
Oh,
you
yeah,
know,
yeah.
out of control. Okay. All right.
I
Definitely.
haven't talked to this guy since he left.
Right. Okay, so just to recap, he said he brought these things up in public because he wanted them to make to react to him finally. So he was being a baby, and no one's reacting to him during his text, so he decided to baby mode it and tantrum in public until they had to respond. Yes, and also it's alcohol's fault. Okay.
Left. The day that he left, that was the last time I talked to him.
Yeah, it was rewinding a bit. So after he does the video with the text message and all that, he did a pre-stream like the following weekend where he says like stuff with John had kind of become stale anyway. It was basically an attempt to be like, the entire thing was basically like to write me out.
Yeah.
You know?
Yep.
For no reason, because like if you just called, I would have told him, "Hey man, give me like a month or two." But it was an attempt to kind of write like we don't need John anymore. He's a fucking loser. He's got all problems, and we don't need him. We're gonna keep going with watch
He's an
my
asshole
stuff.
anyway.
Got very defensive, like almost like I was doing something wrong to him when I really wasn't.
Yes.
Yeah.
I did not wrong him by
No, he wasn't doing anything wrong in regards to he didn't want to be in my content.
Boy, here comes a huge but here. But what?
He was doing the right thing for himself. I just wish that he would have said it. Instead
I wish that he would have said it. He forgot that he was dealing with a very descriptive person that needs you to be as direct as possible.
of saying, I'm going to be in your content. It's coming. No, really. It's going to happen.
He
And
did
kept
say that. He said, call me.
leading me on. It's kind
He said, call me.
of like the same deal with Howard before I left Connecticut. He would say, I'm gonna be at your event. No, I'm gonna be at your event. No, I'm gonna be at your event. Within 24 hours of the event, I'm canceling. My girl says we're busy.
He said,
what?
call.
And I felt like
His girl said he had to cancel.
that's essentially John was now pulling a Howard on me.
John was pulling a Howard.
You had become that thing that he and I had talked about that was bad in the past. I wish he did that differently. I wish he at least would have been honest with me. All right. And I don't feel like he was being honest or transparent with me at the time. I feel like he just didn't want to be
He said, call me. And you said you would call him.
my stuff. Yes, there was personal shit going on in his life, but also now we know there was this stuff going on back in Connecticut. People didn't like me. There was poison there.
Poison.
Being spread around about me, about completely unrelated issues.
Okay.
And definitely, all that being said, this is a situation that I wish went down completely differently, and it didn't.
And because of who?
Nothing I can do about it now. But
Yeah, but whose fault is it that
it's
it went
done.
down this way?
He's right in saying he didn't do anything wrong in regards to not wanting to be in my content. I just wish that he had been completely transparent with me about it.
He was
and it
completely transparent and said he'll do it when he can, and to give him a call so they can talk about it.
probably would have avoided a lot of these issues.
Yes.
But the issues were created by me after the fact.
by not being able to
And you could have called and settled this right away. So
do his content. There's a video, man, that somebody sent to me, okay? Which was taken from one of his streams, dude. So he basically was talking about me around this time period. Maybe it was like August or September, and he's going off about how John lives with his parents. John lives in the middle of nowhere. He's got all these problems. And as usual, yeah, it was like what I was saying. Like, we don't need that fucking loser around here, He didn't specifically say the loser part, but he did say the other stuff.
I didn't say anything like that
But
at all.
here's the thing: he doesn't.
Philip, I wish I could find it. I'm not sure what to search for because that looks like that video is not going to be played here, unlike the other ones.
Part, but he did say don't need that fucking loser around here, He didn't specifically say the loser part, but he did say the other stuff.
I didn't say anything like that
But
at all.
here's the thing: he doesn't know anything about my house, who I live with.
Yeah.
He has never been to my home. He's never expressed interest in doing that. He doesn't really know who's in my life or anything about the situation.
Anything friends know
and you
about?
guys saying things like that on a public stream.
Yes.
Some of that's supposed
Anything normal friends know about? Cool friend here, though. Yeah.
to be your friend. So I contact him after this, immediately after, sent him a text message. because he wants to say that no one ever.
Yeah, the timeline is skewed. I can't remember exactly when
Bring
this
up the
was.
timeline. That'll help.
But this was definitely in that time frame of me doing fucked up stuff on my streams.
That'll help.
In regards to Rambo,
Big up
because he
Slachero.
wasn't really giving me transparent information or responding that much. Again, it was me trying to justify a reason why he's not going to be in my content. Well, he's got personal issues at home. He's got to handle those.
He lives in the middle of nowhere. I'm trying to look for this, by the way, this mention.
This whole YouTube thing isn't his focus. But why am I saying shit like that? Even if it was true or not. Because I'll be honest with you now. Oh, I said it. I'll be honest with you. So that means, obviously, that I'm lying now.
Yes. That does.
No. From my recollection, that was factual information, the shit that I said. From my recollection, we had behind-the-scenes conversations like that, and I was revealing that information to the public, which I shouldn't have done. He's saying, oh, we never even talked about that. He's making it up. I swear we did talk about that via text. Okay?
Okay.
I wouldn't just pull something out of my butt like that out of nowhere. In regards to, no, I'd never been to his house, but he told me all about it in the past. I knew what area of New York he lived in. I knew about who he was living with, and all of that, because we talked about it. So it's funny because he's basically saying here, oh, he didn't know anything about that. Maybe it really was true, and he's trying to like defend himself here to say, oh, it wasn't real. Because
we're just calling him a liar now. Oh, we're just gonna call him a liar out of nowhere. Really cool
doxing
move.
And shit, I don't know. But the shit I said back then, to the best of my knowledge, was truthful. It was just wrong to say it. Completely wrong to say it. He's sharing personal information about me. Why the fuck am I reading that and talking about that on my streams? Again, the timeline's fucked because I think this already had happened previous to the Thanksgiving thing, but now he's bringing this up again.
Never expressed any problems, or I don't ever heard of any problems of John having with me. So I sent him a text to say, I caught wind that you're saying very private things.
Yes.
By the way, not true things, lies about me. In one of your streams, I expect that you will not be posting that to YouTube.
Yes.
I hope that you will not be uploading that to YouTube. So
maybe that's why it's gone.
He didn't respond, and I do not believe that he did. I don't think he did actually post it.
Oh fuck!
It was one of those like pre-stream things. But again, it's like
shit. Anyone have any idea about that? 2015 we're talking about here. Did he actually upload it though? Ooh, that would be good audio. Pre-stream, he didn't upload. He's talking about 2015. I'll keep digging. Big ups to Dominic, who says we need to talk about his depression. Real depression can leave you unable to get out of bed. Some of us know. If he was truly depressed, he wouldn't be streaming like nothing's wrong. Luckily, I've never had depression, so I don't know about that. But I know real depression is fucking debilitating. It doesn't make you just download. It doesn't make you just text a few people. That's more like alcohol thing, right? Drink too much and text chicks. That's what I did back in my day. You know what I mean? But I think he's confusing depression with being drunk very easily, right? That's what I think that's what he's doing, right? But big ups too. He uses his wife as a human shield. Main problem with DSP and Rambo is Phil wanted. I never thought about that. He wasn't satisfied. We didn't get what he wanted. But yeah, I think he's not depressed. I think he's just sad and drunk. And when you get drunk, it does make your feelings, it magnifies your true feelings, right? I think that's just true with everybody about alcohol, right? Just magnifies your true feelings. If they're good or bad, right? Big ups, Nibbity! What we got for you? Let's see. Do I have I have a llama for you. Here we go. Big ups, Nibbity. This is for you. Whoa, the Rambo llama! That's a good one. Big up T McFly, who says Phil only communicates by email, not phone calls. Yeah, but if it's a friend and your friend has said my preferred way to contact is phone, you do that if it's your friend. I agree if it's like some douchebag you don't care about and they say, can you call? You don't call because you don't give a shit about them. But with your friend, you do what they want. You do what they request, even if you don't want to really do it, But
what is going on here, man?
Yeah.
Yeah.
The next time I hear from he asks, would you like to be on Hate Live? What you tell him I can't do.
Will you be on Hate Live? Hey, Rambo, sorry. Will you be on Hate Live?
Yeah, he asks, would you...
Hey, Faye. Hey, Rambo, sorry about that. Want to be on Hate Live?
The next time I hear from he asks, would you like to be on Hate Live? What you tell him I can't do.
Hey, buddy,
He gets
how
kinda
about Hate
frustrated
Live?
about it, and I kind of listen. I'm doing my own show this week. Like I'm not available to do that. You know, it's basically like every interaction has to eventually do with videos and stuff. Man, he talked about the Thanksgiving video. He talks about like we were talking about shows and stuff. There'll be a message like,
How
hey,
about
you're
Hate
watching
Live? Ever heard about Hate Live? Let me. I'm still trying to like sideways look for when he might be talking about it in the pre-stream. This is something. Look at this fan art.
Land with my comfort zone. And then a couple years later, I did a co-op playthrough of Kirby's Return to Dreamland with my friend John Rambo. This time around, we're going solo again. Okay.
Oh.
Now this game is pretty unique from what I'm.
Oh God! Can you imagine the gin that was consumed because of that? This time I'm going solo. Oh God! God damn it! Fuck! I'm going solo. Let's. I can't find it. It keeps going to things like when he plays a game, he'll say, "I played this with my friend Rambo." That's all he says. But there we go. We'll keep going.
Gotham. And I'll be like, yeah, it's pretty decent. And then it'll just immediately turn into, yeah, let's record this weekend.
Oh
It's
my
like,
God,
hey, you're watching Gotham. And I'll be like, yeah, it's pretty decent. And then it'll just immediately turn into, yeah, let's record this weekend.
See, and he felt that way, but that's not what was happening. I was trying to reach out to him.
Who do you trust more? The people explaining it, how they felt, or the people that was doing the thing that caused the person to feel that way? He explains it that way, but that's not the fact of the matter, okay? He felt that way. That's not the truth of the matter. Keep that in mind.
Record this weekend.
See, and he felt that way, but that's not what was happening. I was trying to reach out to him and be a friend and talk via text. I couldn't call him. I just couldn't.
Yes,
I
you
didn't have
could.
the time until super late at night to be doing that kind of stuff.
Okay.
But I know I was watching a show. We both like comics. Let's talk about Gotham. We talked back and forth about it, you know, for a bit. Things we liked, things we didn't like. And I say, oh, by the way, you know, any chance that we're going to do anything soon? Because I'd like to actually, you know, again, my frame of mind, because I'd like to actually talk with you, you know, on a time that I can take out of a day and make work out of it so I can have time to talk with you beforehand. This is, again, what we used to do.
You don't have to do it that way. Make work out of it.
When he would come on
He has time to watch a show but not call? Yeah, the show's more important. Hey, buddy, you watching Gotham? Can't call, though. I'm too busy.
Saturdays for co-op, the first hour or two of us doing it wasn't doing it. It was just talking about fun stuff, having our friendly interactions. Then we would turn on the cameras and start recording the content. I wanted that back. He just wanted me
I wanted to make money off him again. Okay.
to call him outside of all of that stuff. Okay? Again, workaholic, bad way to go about having friends when all you're doing is work.
Yes.
And all your interactions with them is work, right?
Yes.
And it's easy to say, well, Phil, you could have just dropped everything and called him. I mean, you're right. I could have.
Yes, it's not drop everything. It's drop 15 minutes from your sleep schedule.
Absolutely. You're right. But you know, at that point in my life, I was separated from that life. I had a new life here in Washington State. I was fully focused on the things going on here, which worked great in 2015 and 2014. It was better. But you're right. There's no, I mean, the excuse here, the only excuse that I can make is not really excuse, explanation is when you're separated physically from something, from the person. All right, it's not out of sight, out of mind, because I still remembered him. And I wanted to do stuff with him. I wanted to talk to him. I wanted to hang out with him. I wanted to make content with him over the internet. But it wasn't as easy as okay, my Saturday is that he's driving over, we do it. It was, man. So now we got to try to like schedule in when we can both do it over the internet. It makes it more complicated. My schedule already, I'm working all day, every day, and just barely making enough money to make ends meet at that point. And because I got myself into so much debt and shit,
Okay, that's
So,
again his
it was
fault.
like-
But you made 15 minutes for a call. We're acting like we have to set up everything. Just talk.
Yeah, I mean, yeah, I could take time out and call him.
Yeah.
Have a conversation on the phone.
Yeah.
But I don't know if it's necessarily going to lead to anything better in a friendship. You know,
Ah,
I don't
so
even have time for the friendship.
You don't have a time for a friendship, so now we're just trying to justify not calling, aren't we, to ourselves? Damn.
I wanted to have the work happen so I could cut the time out of the work to have the friendship continue. I know this is completely wrong. Everyone's probably like, what the fuck?
Yeah.
You call your friends. You hang out with your friends. That's not how it was. In my mind, it was...
Sometimes, even when you can't hang out, you still call your friends and say, what's up? That's just something that people do with their real friends. Hey, what's up, man? Yeah. Hope we get to hang out soon, man. It's crazy over here. But nice to talk to you later. And that is something that keeps friendships going. Because the older you get, the more friendships turn into work. I think we all can agree there. But the ones you really care about, you do put in the work. And the ones you don't really care about, well, you don't end up putting in the work because they're not as important to you. But the ones you do want to keep friendship with, even though you can't hang out, is the ones you do put in the work. And when I say work, I mean calling. Maybe once a month, if that. Send a message every once in a while if that's how you communicate. But in this case, the friend requested a call. But Philip was too brokenhearted to have a chance to make time for a call.
Oh, work. So have the scheduled work and cut out a section of the work to be friends and then do the work after. You know, that's how it always was. And it's fucked up. Completely fucked up. Especially because, again, before I became a full-time YouTuber who monetized my videos, I did spend time with John. We went to tournaments. We did all kinds of fun stuff together that had nothing to do with making videos for YouTube. And
Let's not go
thank
that
you for re-upping
far.
your membership. I appreciate that.
Because the only reason you brought John along those trips was for him to film and for him to drive. So let's not go that far. Let's not go that fucking far, sir. All right.
That went away when I became a full-time YouTuber. My fault. He's right. 100% here.
Yeah.
You know, it's like, what are you thinking, man? And I'll admit there's many texts he sends which I just don't respond to because how do you trust it, man?
Yeah.
How do you trust this isn't going to become something that's I got to talk about in a video now?
Yeah.
Yeah,
See,
pretty
John's
much.
talking to me all the time.
And that's one. And that's one of the reasons why I was reluctant to why I didn't reply to that text message, because I looked at it and said, well, if John went through this nonsense with him going ahead and posting these text messages on or reading these things on his vlogs, then what's it going to keep him from doing it with me?
Well, if you respond, it becomes like, oh, Howard's talking to me. What the fuck, John's?
Yeah. So why even put myself in that predicament? That's why I didn't even bother texting him back. I just left it like that. But and then, like I said, he writes these text messages, sends text messages to John, then sends me a text message, and then what does he do right after? He goes ahead, he posts a video.
Yeah, this was maybe 2 weeks ago.
2 weeks ago, and then what does he do?
Started this whole
week,
thing.
He goes
That was the first thing they
and
addressed.
posts this video on Thanksgiving.
So yeah, 2 weeks ago we both got texts like the middle of the freaking night while we're
Middle of the night. I got this text message.
Sleep.
It was like 5. It was like 4:30 it was 5:30 in the morning. So that was like I think it was like 3 in the morning over there. 2 in the morning.
Oh, 3:30,
So-
Philip. Very busy boy. Can't call though. 3:30. Ah.
I look at it and I talked to John and I said, I really think he's drinking.
Oh
He
my God!
basically
Yeah.
these texts. I'm not going to go word for word because that's what happened to me. I'm not going to do that, but he basically expressed that he wants to kind of work things out,
Yeah.
but he really doesn't because you saw what he did on Thanksgiving. So it was basically like an ultimatum kind of thing. Like, if you don't fucking talk to me,
3:30.
respond to me right now.
Oh, we're doing it again? We're going to do a Howard again? Are we really going to do a goodbye party again?
It's basically like an ultimatum kind of thing.
See?
Like, if you don't fucking talk to me, respond to me right now, then I'm going to go publicly and try to fuck you.
I mean, it wasn't trying to fuck you. It was again. He's right. It was basically like, you've been ghosting me for a year. I'm depressed as fuck. I want to destroy everything around me. I want an answer. Is anything ever going to change, or is it always just going to be, you ghost me forever?
Oh, ultimatum style. Listen, if you don't If you don't respond to me to this text, you got no chance with me. We will never be boyfriend and girlfriend ever again, and you'll miss out on this. That's what he's doing. Oh my God. Oh my God. This is the worst part. He did an ultimatum style. Vike says Cat, Philip, ALT, Jerry Springer, detractor audience. All right, that's cool. That's cool. Oh, Vikes, we definitely got to do our talk show in the summer. I gotta message you on Discord to set it up. You'd be the special guest for that one. Wesley H says, man who is the cause of his own problems can't see how his actions can be used to solve problems, not just create more problems for excuses. Uh-huh. Good way to put it. Big ups, Wesley H. He's caused all these problems, and he just cannot end the problem. He makes them worse and worse and worse. And then he does an ultimatum style out of nowhere. Big ups, Dare Bear. Silence Dies says, Phil, you choose to do these decisions. No one forced you to do these things. You could have easily made the call and be a good friend. But yet we go to ultimatum. Ultimatum style. Jasper the Cat said, if Phil hadn't killed T, that would be T on this screen. Oh, I'm sure he would have been turned into an asshole at some point. Absolutely. Absolutely. It would have been no friend lasts in DSP's world. No friend. Nobody. Jodub says, sounds like you betrayed their trust, Phil, by reading out Rambo's text, but what do I know? I'm just an empty-headed maroon, right? Right? Correct. And ultimatums are a kiss of death for any type of relationship because no kind of reaction to them is made with your true feelings included, right? Because, for example, let's say if we don't have sex in the next year, I'm out, you know? And if you do that, well, then even if she does decide to do sexual relationship with you, you made her do it not based on her feelings of wanting to do that, but based on the fact that she doesn't want to lose you. It's like a ransom note, right? And that's not the exact way that should work, right? That's not the way that should work in any situation. Ultimatums are not a good negotiating tactic in relationships, right? In other situations, they can work, but not with relationships.
Change, or is it always just going to be, you know, you ghost me forever? And it worked. Destroyed everything. It worked, man. It destroyed absolutely positively everything about this relationship. There was no way, you know, after they made this video that this was going to continue, which is odd because we're at the end of the video, and wait till you hear how they end it. It's baffling to me. So
let's get how they fucked this up. Let's get to them, how they ruined this relationship. Go ahead.
This.
Publicly.
Yeah, assholes.
So you're not really apologetic if you're doing that. You're not really trying to make things right. And you're really not hurt by the situation.
Yeah.
Okay?
Let's see how they fucked this up.
If you and I had a problem, Howie, but you never know.
I know, right?
And I
see
felt
that
really
like
bad that
it's
you're
laughable that they would have a problem because if there was ever a problem, they would talk it out. You know what I mean? Like normal friends, like you just talk it out at that moment. If there's issues, like that thought of them having beef was even funny to them because, like, yeah, I mean, it's not gonna happen to us, but you know.
I know, right?
See?
And I felt really bad that you're not speaking to me. I'm probably not going to make the things worse.
Yes.
No.
By saying shit like whatever he said, the insults that he said in a public video.
Yeah, and
it's almost like he's always got to try to save face. I'm the winner. There's no winner in this situation, man.
No, and I didn't think there was going to be a winner. Again, they are off base here. There's no winner here. I wasn't trying to be, I'm the guy that is the winner here. I knew there was going to be a culmination and an explosion. I thought it was going to be that
it was all part of the plan.
Contact me behind the scenes, say, fuck off, never again, stop contacting us, block, block, block. Or, wow, all right, let's finally hash it out. John. I thought it was going to be John saying, I ignored you for a year, but let's figure it out. One or the
all
other.
part of
I
the
thought it was
plan.
going to be the former. I thought it was going to be fuck you, block, block, block. I had no idea they were going to make a public video like this at all. Because again, 90% of the shit in this video, it's the first time I'm hearing it. I didn't know there was a resentment about Project 7. I didn't know there was resentment about all these things that had happened over the years. It's first time hearing it. And it blew my mind and made me, feel like shit. But
Yeah.
we'll talk about this in a second.
To address
So the
it,
end here. It's finished.
So again, real quick, Philip, this is part of Philip's snaking, is to make them respond. Okay? He thought the possible responses were blocking them behind the scenes. But then they respond with this, and this wasn't a correct response in Philip's mind. This wasn't part of the snaking. So let's see what happens here.
Personally versus doing it the way he does. And personally, I'll be completely honest with you, John.
Go ahead.
I really think that he watches too much
This is
WWE. Because
Yeah.
it feels like...
Yes.
No, I'm not lying,
Triple P said the same thing.
dude. It
fuck are you
feels like...
talking about?
It really feels like he tries to make his channel like that, where it's full of drama.
Yes.
When-
It's all drama,
yeah.
just to try to create controversy.
My
Yes.
channel is all drama. Has he ever
Yes.
even watched the fucking channel?
Probably not.
I
It's
played
too boring.
video games constantly.
Philip?
The vlogging was the rare shit. He's acting like I'm Keemstar. Like, what is he talking about here?
Philip.
It doesn't even make any sense at all what he's saying. It's completely nonsensical stuff.
Everything the detractors do, even at this point, back then, he would make a pre-stream about it, making like it's the biggest deal of all time. And that's not even mentioning the fact that we're making a drama thing right now. He insulted them to get a response from them. That's not creating drama, as Big Guy just said there. That's not trying to make drama. That's not trying to make a storyline here. How will Hogan respond to the ultimatum laid down by Taker? Stay tuned for Friday Night Fights to see. That's exactly what he's fucking doing.
So that he can get more views.
Yeah,
And
we're feeding into it right now.
Create controversy
And
to
we
get
are. We're
views.
feeding
Oh, that's
into
me.
it
Like I
right
said, he's still finding ways to monetize us after this time, but
Yeah.
let's bring up that. So WWE smart guys, man. People often ask him like, "Are you doing smart guys?" And they'll just throw me under the bus. Like, it's up to John. It's 100% on him if we'll do it.
Even though it was supposed to be Philip that called him.
I got some text from him from last summer where he's basically like, "Let me know when you want to do smart guys, so I'll start watching wrestling again." So what that says to me is like you're not really a fan of it.
Philip, is John Rambo making fun of the thing you made fun of Triple P about? That you're not a real fan of wrestling? Huh?
You don't really watch it. You will watch it if you could make a video about it. And you're going to
Yeah.
make a video about it because you want to monetize a video.
Yes.
So, at this point, when you get to this, you're at the end of it now, and you're like, so
Okay.
everything now is evil. I mean, everything I do is wrong. Everything's evil, right? There's no jokes anymore.
What?
Again, this is the well's been poisoned. So anything Phil does is the mindset. He's only in it for the money. He doesn't care about anyone but himself. Everything is evil. Everything is bad.
Okay, can you please dispute what he's talking about now? What is all this for nonsense? We're at the ending now. So all he says now is negative. Okay, missing the point of this, but go ahead.
So there's a running joke that we used to make when we did Smart Guys that wrestling sucks. Like most pro wrestling was bad. I mean, there's a few rare times when the CM Punk plotline happened and we liked that. But in general, that the wrestling was quite bad. It wasn't as good as the stuff that used to be on TV. It's a running joke that
Running joke.
it's bad. Okay?
Hilarious.
Now,
Great.
when he contacts me about, or when we're talking about this, it's a joke. Oh, I'll start watching wrestling again once, we're going to do the show. I just moved, all right? I hadn't been actively watching wrestling because I hadn't been actively doing anything and fallen back into my habits.
So what?
All right? But I was still following it. I still knew what was going on in wrestling. I was, reading stuff online, social media and the like. And I was
Yeah.
eventually going to get back into it. I feel, hey, a great way to get full-fledged back into it after not being, attached to it for a couple months would be for the show. It was
Yeah.
a joke. Oh, I'm not watching it. Yeah, we'll watch it again when we're going to make the show. It's a joke, it sucks or whatever. Now, this couldn't be further from the truth. Allow me to flip this a little bit. I don't really
please.
like doing this, but this is
I don't really like doing this. Means I'm so excited to do this. I've been thinking about this moment for a long time. Go ahead.
at this point, John, I think at the end of the video here, he just starts throwing Hail Marys. What's the last few things I could say bad about Phil? All right?
What?
During the course that we were making Smart Guys, all right, I was watching everything. I was watching every program on WWE, including Raw, SmackDown, you know, and other formative shows that were coming out at that time.
Formative shows?
Plus, Impact Wrestling. Every week I was watching Impact Wrestling. John didn't like 90% of the wrestling. So every once in a while he'd watch a Ring of Honor show and bring that to the table. For the most part, he'd come in, and after maybe just a few months of doing the show, expressed to me that he didn't like the wrestling stuff anymore.
Yeah.
He wanted to keep doing the show and talk about it. But he said, so just so you know, I'm going to come in, and I'm not going to know anything about the shows because I didn't watch them. But what we're going to do is we're going to open up. I had an iPad at the time. We'll open up your iPad, and we'll use this app to go through the results of the show. So even though I didn't watch any of the wrestling, you can go through it because you watched it, and as you're talking about it, I'll give you what I think about what happened on the show, but I haven't watched it, all right? So kind of funny, you know, the whole time we're doing Smart Guys, arguably half the time, like the second half we were doing the show, he wasn't watching wrestling. He was basically having me talk about what happened, going through results, and giving my opinion on it because I had watched it, and then he would chime in, all right? People didn't know that. He was good at bullshitting, I guess, all right?
Okay.
All right?
So
But
the whole time, half the time of Smart Guys, John wasn't watching wrestling. Okay, so yeah, Rambo is just helping out Phil to keep the show going, in other words.
here we are, years later, the show's retired, we want to restart it. I make a joking comment, oh, we'll start watching it again now, you know, I haven't watched
That's how are we supposed to read that as a joking comment?
it in a while, wrestling sucks. Oh, see,
Okay.
Phil only watched wrestling because he would monetize it.
Yeah.
Dude, we were making a show together, monetizing it, and you didn't watch it.
How much did Rambo make on those shows?
What are you talking about? Like,
Okay.
completely hypocritical there. And that irks me because that's
All
a
right.
particular situation where I was really carrying the workload for that show, and he was just riding along. And now,
It's a show for your channel. He was just helping you out with it.
here it is years later. Oh, what's the last few darts we can throw at Phil at the end? Oh, he made a joke about wrestling. That means he only monetizes wrestling. He doesn't watch it outside of it.
Okay.
Sure. Whatever you say, John.
Yeah.
Right.
Good
So
finish,
it's just
Philip.
really weird, you know. Like I'll start watching when you let me know that we're gonna do the show. Otherwise, I'm not gonna fucking look at it, you know. I don't know. Let's go to Thanksgiving last year, man.
Yeah,
I'm
go
just trying-
ahead,
I really
yeah.
got maybe a couple things here left just to get out of here.
There's really nothing left. They're just going to reiterate
Not
things they've
ruin the
already said
entire
at this
day
point,
here.
if I remember correctly.
Yeah.
We'll see about that. Let's let him hear it. Remember, they're just throwing Hail Marys now, just making stuff up.
Because life is good, man. If you let life be good, there's a lot of great things you could be doing with yourself.
Oh, exactly.
So yeah, on the Thanksgiving video that he put out this year, he talks about how last year
We're not listening anywhere. We're just doing polls real quick.
he was not invited on the Black Friday show that we did for 2014. You know, never mind the fact that OJ wasn't actually there either.
Okay.
Does that mean that, you know, I hate OJ? It was actually just you and I, actually.
Yep.
We got some Invisible Mute said, even when Smart Guys was a thing, people in general would say that DSP either wasn't watching the wrestling or understanding it. See, that's the thing. You don't know which, though, right? Because sometimes you can't tell what he doesn't understand. It's not understanding or just doesn't know what happened, actually. Because there's many times when I've pulled up, like, wrestling matches he's talked about, and, like, that's just not what happened. So I think it's either being drunk while watching it or pulling while watching it. He never knows what's the real thing, you know. But big up Joe Dub says Toby Turner reaction video when his allegations happened, not drama dunking on Pro Jared after his allegations. No drama. The eat it rant. We don't do drama on my channel. Okay, tired of it. Have you watched my stuff, Howard? I do a gameplay stream. Okay. Joshua Clan in the house says, is John your best friend you ever it takes to make time to call? And Phil's constant business talk shows that John was just a pawn. Yep. Even after, like, way past the point of, like, you think it's over, Rambo says, yeah, he talked to me about TV shows. You watching Gotham? Yeah, ready to record? How about Hate Live? I like that one. So how about Hate Live?
And he also doesn't bring up the fact that last year on Thanksgiving, is when he decided to unfollow me on Twitter.
Yep.
Which again, like it's a day you're supposed to be with your family and friends and whatnot.
We've already addressed all of this, but in quick summary,
Yes, go ahead.
every year he had me on his Thanksgiving show to talk about Black Friday deals.
Uh-huh.
And it was me and first it was me and Howard, then it ended up being OJ some of the years.
Yeah.
This particular year, 2014, when I had moved, again, he's not talking to me at all. He's basically ghosting me at this point. He says he's going to be in my content when he's ready. I'm thinking, well, he's doing his content. Maybe he'll want me to be on his show. All I did was send him a text saying, hey, I'm available if you want me to be on the show.
I'm
That was
ready
it.
if you want, buddy.
There's no hounding. There was nothing. No pestering or anything like that.
He
And
said
then people
he'll
asked
talk
me
to
after
you.
the fact, of course, what are people going to do? Well, Phil, we were watching this Thanksgiving show and you weren't on it. You're always on it. Don't you think that's a bad sign, Phil? And again, it's the trolls. Don't you think that's a bad sign? Don't you think that means that he doesn't like you? You see? And, you know, what they're trying to say, oh, no big deal. Well, if that's no big deal, then me unfollowing you on Twitter should also be no big deal, right?
What? What is that?
You always have me on a show. You actively don't ask me to be on a show for the first time in many years.
Yeah.
All right? And that doesn't mean anything. Then it doesn't mean anything if I'm casually unfollowing you on Twitter. If
Casually
my trolls contact me and say, ha ha,
unfollowing?
you weren't on Rambo show because he hates you, then you should also ignore when they say, ha ha, Phil unfollowed you on Twitter. It goes both ways. But this entire video is, oh, everything Phil does is wrong, right? But when we have the same reaction.
It's a little bit different with unfollowing because that's not something you can't tell the intentions of, right? I mean, yeah, I guess you can't tell the intention of not having him on the show, but you choose to make it a big deal when you unfollow someone. It's not casually unfollowing him. It's a casual unfollow.
Actions to stupid arbitrary bullshit that shouldn't matter and trolls contact us. It's awful for us, you see? And again, that's my fault because I am the one who has the internet following, makes a living. It's those trolls that are doing the same thing to both of us. They would never have been trolled if they were never involved with my content to begin with.
Okay.
And causes me to get a bunch of shitty messages, just like this year. It causes you to get a bunch of shitty messages and cause problems, you know, drama that you don't need, man, that you're not looking for and don't deserve, really. So there's something out there where people will be like, people are saying John unfollowed Phil on YouTube, but the fact of the matter is I never actually followed him in the first place.
Ooh.
So I didn't unfollow him. I also didn't follow OJ and Howard. I didn't follow any of you guys on YouTube. You know, so I didn't actually follow him and then consciously unfollow him. That's like very fourth grade nonsense.
Yes, it is.
He has done. He doesn't follow. I still follow him on Twitter actually because I'm not going to go through the trouble of unfollowing someone like him.
Oh, like I'm what?
The trouble of following and unfollowing someone on Twitter. The fact that this has any bearing on anyone's life is preposterous.
So why did you choose to go through the trouble of doing it, Philip?
To me, it's stupid. If someone, why did you unfollow? Fuck you. Why are you even asking me? Go get the hell out of here, you fucking idiot.
Okay.
Just that's crazy to me that this was an issue to them.
Third grade. But he doesn't follow
So why'd you do it then?
all of us in all things.
Yeah.
Okay.
He like I said, he threw the first stone. So now he's wondering why we don't talk to him. And then, you know, when you start looking at some of the underlying issues, you'll realize why.
It's a freaking circus, man.
It's a circus.
He's doing the Patreon. We talked about the shirts.
Yep.
Since we're just kind of emptying the barrel here. You
Empty
know?
the barrel.
Yeah.
It's already a 2 hour, half hour
A
and a
couple
half
months
video.
ago.
Keep going.
What? You don't want him to say that other things that they have issue with, Philip?
Maybe it was September or August of 2015 this year. He
Guys, haven't you said enough?
he put out a montage of a co-op playthrough that we did
Oh.
and put ads on there.
Oh.
Hello again, everyone.
Philip.
Darkside Phil here, and welcome to the best and worst
Philip.
of DSP classics, where we turn back the clock and take another look at some of the most classic, old, funny, and weird playthroughs that I've done in my years on YouTube.
I was up till 3 a.m. watching this myself, and let me tell ya, it was a great video. I cried myself to sleep with this puppy.
The patrons have spoken, and this time we'll be checking out a little game called TV Superstars.
And it's pretty obvious that like I don't want to do anything with you or be associated with you.
Yes.
And then just let me put out a video that's got John in it,
Oh.
so I could put ads on it.
Yes.
Wow.
You know, and why would you Well, I can see why you would do it.
Philip, why would you do that?
Again,
Any
like,
answer to
there's
that?
obviously
Or?
some problems with the relationship. Why do you think that's a good idea?
Wow.
Top other
Philip?
nonsense, man.
Wow. I mean,
Philip, any answer to this?
do I really have to address it?
Yes, you do. I think everyone wants to hear an answer to this.
Should I address that? Is there a point? I mean, we already talked about all of our arrangements over the years. You know, he got paid for that work at the time, very generously for it.
Very generously, Philip? How can you say very generously at this moment in time after already showing to the world that you thought you were going to pay John Rambo $250 a day and then changed after John Rambo suggested $100, you happily took that. And now you're going to say generous?
You know, he got paid for that work at the time, very generously for it.
Very generously? Maybe if you got what you thought he was worth, maybe if he got that much, you could say that, but not after you lowballed him with the $100 he suggested.
Okay, there were never residual agreements. There never will be residual agreements. I can't even figure out residuals. To this day, I can't figure out residuals.
Because you're a fucking idiot. You could figure out agreements towards it. It wouldn't have to be perfect, but just get a rough estimate is all it would take. But the problem is choosing to make this video in the first place.
And that stuff. It's my content. I own it. I have the right to use that forever in perpetuity. I own the rights to the video.
That's right, but you don't have to do it.
Is it in good taste? Well, if I was doing a whole, let's do a ginormous project with 4 million parts that's going to bring me in big bucks, and it's going to be all about the best of John Rambo. Okay.
Again, it's all about the scope, isn't it? He's just trying to tell you it was just a single video, didn't make that many views, like that makes it better.
Maybe that would be considered bad taste. When I'm doing a project on Patreon and the viewers themselves say, we loved those days back in the day. That's old school DSP and Rambo. Can we do like a montage of the best stuff from back then? Right? What is wrong with that? Well, it was monetized. So in John's eyes, anything monetized with him on it is bad. Patreon is bad. Anything bad. Anything is bad. Anything with money, bad. But again, we're getting into the video. This isn't about money, right? This video is not about money. However,
It's about the thought of the matter, the principle of the thing. You didn't have to monetize it. You didn't have to put out this video. You could have just, like everything else fans suggest, and say, no, I'm not going to do anything with John Rambo at the moment. But we did choose to do that. But now we're trying to say that it's just because John Rambo's making this all about money. It's bad. He's the bad one, actually, guys.
Number 114 times that we've mentioned money, and we're still mentioning it at the end of the video. It's not about money.
Yeah.
Even though he was paid for those videos, right? This is my
$150 less than you thought it was worth.
argument all the time that I paid you a licensing fee to play your video game, okay? I paid the fee. Now I'm doing a Let's Play of it. You claim my video for music. I paid the fee to use the content in your game.
We're not going to get into why
You've
this
already
is
been
dumb.
paid for that. Now I'm able to use it forever. Get it?
No,
Same
I don't
thing
get
here.
it.
He got paid for the videos. He received compensation. That was the agreement we had. There was no future agreements or anything about anything else in the future. How can you then say, how dare you ever use this content ever again in anything? Ever. Like, I have to erase any interaction I ever had with Rambo and Howard off the internet.
That's extremism. Rambo never said that.
No. It happened. It's all there. It's documented. It will stay there forever. I will make 2 pennies every year on all the content we did. Because like I said, the old videos don't get monetized. They don't get ads. They don't. I make almost nothing on the ancient videos. It's the new stuff that I constantly pump out.
It's not about how much money you make. It's the principle.
The ad revenue, not ancient videos.
Okay.
You know, it just doesn't exist. It's just a myth of YouTube that the old videos are getting tons of ad revenue. They don't get the same ads on them as the new videos. This is bullshit. So he thinks, Philip in perpetuity will always be making a living off of the content we did. No, I make nothing on it. It's ridiculous.
Okay.
It's a horrible argument from someone who doesn't understand the way YouTube works and someone who doesn't have a leg to stand on in that argument because I paid him for his work. What he wanted, by the way. Like, he thought it was too much at the time.
Philip, this is an amazing retcon of this very same video. You wanted to pay him $250. He offered $100. You took $100. So this is not too much.
As we've already discussed.
Yeah.
Okay.
Talks about behind my back.
That was he's mixing up the histories here, because there was one time when Rambo said, "Whoa, that's how much that video made? That's a lot." That one time. He's not talking about the weekly payments, which is, 90% of the money that Rambo got. He's just pretending that he's talking about that one single instance when Rambo had to go to him directly and say, "My car's in trouble." So he's mixing his own timelines here, yes.
On his forum or elsewhere, I always catch wind of it, man. People
We already
throw him
talked about
way.
that. We already talked about that.
And it gets to a point where it's too much, man.
Yeah, and then you figure if you don't, because then what happens is you don't go ahead and address it. And we were trying to avoid addressing this for a long time. But like I said, he goes and makes a video, and then he starts with the shit again with, making a video, trying to, and like I say it all the time, and a lot of other people say it, he's terrible at damage control.
Yes.
I agree
terrible.
with that.
And sometimes
100%.
when he addresses things,
Back
it makes
then it
it
was
ends
awful.
up
Much better
being
at it
even
today.
worse
Oh, really?
than what it
Definitely.
really was.
This is a good example of it.
And I think we probably didn't even have to do this
Yeah.
because when someone says it's 100% on their side, I did nothing
Yeah.
wrong. Like no one believes that.
No, yeah, exactly.
Maybe
No
some
one does.
people do, but most people are like smart enough to be like, wait a second, that's really
Yeah.
like these
Yeah.
other people we just lost our minds and became these fucking heinous villains, and it's usually not how the real world works, man. Yeah, maybe you're out to some of that WWE thing. I think
Right.
you might be out to
I
something.
think I'm
like that.
a heel in real life.
Yeah, and I
He
like I
is.
said,
Good
you can-
point.
Street Fighter, not
You
real
can
life.
tell
man.
just even from the beginning, why, like even from his name, like the King of Hate.
Yeah.
This
it's
is
like
so
he-
bullshit. Howard knows what the King of Hate means. He was there during the entire time when I was the King of Hate in Street Fighter. He knew what it meant. He's completely lying
him
to his
go.
audience at this point to try to make points that don't make any sense. He knows that the King of Hate is not that I'm a hateful person on people on the internet. He's being a jackass here.
He enjoys
yes.
that. He lives
He's
by
being
that,
a
and it's like,
jackass.
I understand
That's
if it's
it.
like a facade for like YouTube or
That's all he's saying. He didn't even mention the meaning of the word, by the way. He said he lives by that, the King of Hate. He acts like the King of Hate. That's all he was saying.
lives by that, and it's like, I understand if it's like a facade for like YouTube or whatever the case may be, but like when you're doing these things in real life to people that are close to you, then you start questioning whether or not
Yeah.
if it's a facade or if it's the real you.
And look, man, at the end of the day, he didn't kill anybody.
No, he didn't.
He was not talking about the name of the meaning of the name, by the way, at all there, John Rambo, Howard. It was just like, listen, he acts like he wants to be that kind of King of Hate dude.
He doesn't deserve to be put in prison or something, or crucified or anything
Yeah.
like that. I have no hatred towards him. I wish him the very, very best. I feel like everything we addressed here today is just stuff that's been put out there that needed to get the other side of it. A lot of misinformation. And that stuff, that'll piss you off, man. People say things about you that aren't true enough times. You gotta get your story out there. I think there's people out there that probably still won't believe or will deny things that were said here today.
Uh-huh.
Yeah,
So,
it's
whatever,
it's not,
man.
and it's not going to matter anyways, because no matter how you look at it, you got to live by that philosophy. Opinions are like assholes. Everyone has one. And that's what's going to end up happening. Anything that we talk about today, it's going to get misconstrued in some way, shape, or form.
Yeah, that's how it goes.
That's
why I want to get
misconstruing
involved.
what
I got
you
other
guys
stuff
did.
to do, man.
Drunk watching John Rambo was banned by DSP Gaming Real. Before we get to the pre-stream, I'll read the band names, because yesterday he banned a fuck ton of good names yesterday.
Yeah,
I got fun things to do. Like, life is pretty simple, man. And I know I think you kind of cracked the code. You go to your job, you do the best you can.
Uh-huh.
You go to your job, and maybe you don't like your job that much, but everything leads to something else.
What's he talking about?
You know what I mean?
What does it have to do with anything?
Wherever you may work out there, you're learning something. You may not realize that,
Yep.
but you're getting something out of it. You're getting life experience, that you could apply to something else. And I think life is kind of like a ladder, and you keep trying to climb to greater heights.
Oh, interesting.
Oh yeah.
And then when you're off time, you don't spend your time shitting on other people. You don't spend your time being angry about things or feeling like the world owes you stuff. You spend your time
You want to talk about
doing something you might
projection,
enjoy
huh?
with people that
Yeah.
you enjoy being around.
Philip?
So this is the big summary. This is the end of the video. This is how
Yeah.
they end the video. Basically, this is the dump. This is pull the lever, dump it on him. This is
What? They're saying positive
This is
things.
full-on projection. This is who they feel I am as a person. Do they watch my content? Obviously not.
Who can?
If they did, they would know that's not what it was, but that's what they feel.
Yeah.
And it's very
Okay.
simple. You don't need millions of dollars, my friends. You don't
need
to
the
have all
money.
views or
The views of the money. It's not what it's
whatever the hell
about.
it is.
Yeah. Last time, and like I said, I live by that. The last time I checked, YouTube doesn't sign my checks, so to me it doesn't really.
Would you really want? Okay. Would you really want them to? Would you want them to
No,
be your deal?
I personally wouldn't because I can't deal with that. It's constantly having and like I said, I'm going to give credit where credit is due, and I'll be completely honest with you. I'm very impressed at how successful he has gotten.
Oh, absolutely.
He's a very successful person for what he has done, in the past 5-6 years, and he was a
anymore.
pioneer in the beginning. I'm not going to
Yeah.
say that he wasn't.
Absolutely.
But I think he's stuck in a rut. There's a lot of Let's
Yep.
players, and it's hard to compete now unless
Yep.
you do things differently. And I think he's in a really bad spot, and that's why he's trying to reach out to us, but he doesn't know how to reach out. He does it in a negative way, and it really
Just
burns.
too much damage has been done.
Too much damage has been done, and it continues and the damage continues because he doesn't know how to divert the damage.
Yeah.
He just adds to it.
But I do care about him, and I hope he does great things.
Yeah,
I hope he could. If he is in some sort of, I don't really know, honestly. If he's in a tough spot, emotionally or whatever,
Which I was.
income-wise, I hope he can turn around. I think he can.
I mean, it wasn't about the income; it was about the emotion. Like I said, I was
Oh, yeah,
incredibly depressed,
definitely.
fucked up in the head, and got absolutely no kind of positive reaction, understanding, or anything from these guys. Nor maybe should I have.
Oh my God! He's saying they didn't give me a positive reaction to my drunk gin texts. How should they respond positively, Philip? How?
'Cause again,
Oh
we
my
had a
God.
reaction, understanding, or anything. Absolutely no kind of positive reaction, understanding, or anything from these guys. Nor maybe should I have. Because again, we hadn't been talking and everything. But
Still expects positive responses to drunk gin texts.
still, it's funny because they're in the video like, gee, maybe if someone is messaging us in the middle of the morning, they're either drunk and depressed, and maybe we should reach out.
Maybe they said to reach out, and you said you would call him.
Nah, let's make a video about him for 90 minutes. That'll help the situation.
Remember, Philip said this was part of a master plan, so I'm confused on why Philip is surprised by this. This was part of the master plan to destroy the relationship, right, Philip? What happened to that?
Can't do it.
Yeah. And I just want to throw this out there, and this is
Please,
is for John and myself.
Go ahead.
This is the last time we're going to address this.
Okay,
I'm not going to
okay.
continue doing this.
That's true.
He says one thing, we say another. I'm not going to do this.
Yeah.
This is the first and the last time I'm going to address this.
Well,
All right,
and
Howard.
that's for you. I might. We'll see.
Yeah,
But you're done. You're done with it.
I'm pretty much done because it's.
And that is true.
You know what?
All right. Here, I'll say this. Okay. I'll say this. So
Howard was cooking there for a second.
instead of making a monetized response video or trying to post something on your forum, or maybe I won't see it or something like that, or trying to make profit off any of this, do what you said you were going to do back in August 2014. Give me an actual call. Give me
Yeah.
the call that you promised that you were going to do.
Give
Yes.
both of us the call.
Okay, sure.
Yeah.
Give the call. I'll be happy to talk to you.
Give
about
both
it.
of us the call. Why would I call Howard? I'm still
Why would you drunk text Howard and give him an ultimatum about friendship?
confused. No, give both of us the call. No, I still want the call. I mean, I hate your guts and everything, like I've explained in this video, but please give me the call too. I need the attention.
Whatever you want to talk about. Okay?
Yeah.
And then that's that, man. That's that. And people want to come here and
Yeah,
well,
Jesus is right.
you can come here and do whatever you want. Really, 'cause this is a bootleg
Yeah.
channel. We put it together. But if you want to shit on me, and if you people out there, if you guys want to shit on me and say like your views are shit or whatever you want to say, man, My channel is me having fun with my friends.
Yep.
I don't put ads on my stuff because I don't have to. I don't ask the audience for anything. Except to
Philip, what are your thoughts on that? Not asking the audience for anything?
hopefully have a good time. And have a great time doing what I do. So please, again, tell me that I'm not successful. Okay?
Yes.
Tell me I'm not successful.
Philip, you already said that on video. I'm not sure why you're being disgusted by this comment.
Or you could just, do the usual thing and say you're a big-nosed piece of shit. But, that's true. That part is true.
You Jew-nosed bastard.
Whoa. Let's calm down, buddy. Is that the end of this thing, this atrocity?
Yep, that's it.
Okay. Adios, everybody.
Yep.
All right,
Okay,
Philip.
so that's the end. That's the very
Yes.
last second. I didn't leave anything else out. Okay, so here's the epilogue, because of course everyone wants to know, well, what happened? What happened when this was released? How did this affect me? How did it all end? All right.
Go ahead.
So this was released. I can finally take this off. Thank God. This was released 3 days after my Thanksgiving vlog. It was released, like I said, on that Uncanny Not Men channel. Why they had to make a new channel to put this up, I have no idea. Apparently, within a day or so of it being released, not only was the video deleted, the channel was too. Okay, completely deleted from the internet. But the internet doesn't forget, and immediately it had been ripped, archived, and reposted all over the internet.
Yes.
So even though the original is not intact, this still has been all over the internet. All right.
Yes.
So what happened? I got contacted by everybody, by my fans, by my haters, longtime friends like the Airy Lord, all reached out to me.
Long time
saying,
friend, Air Raid Lord. He just busted hearing that.
Damn, Phil, wow. Don't know if you're aware, but apparently your former friends have put out a hit piece against you. And we have no idea if it's real or not, or true or not. Or not real or not, but we don't know if what they're saying is true or not. But my God, some of the things they say in this video are pretty damning, to the point where it really feels like character assassination. But if it's true, obviously, you're pretty fucked. That's probably
Okay, it's character assassination now. Okay.
end of your career on the internet, all right? So bad. So, is it true or not? A lot of people ask me that. I said, I'm not even going to answer that. I don't know. I didn't watch it, yet, at that time. So, certain people start telling me what's in the video. I didn't watch it yet. Certain people start telling me what's in the video. And they say, basically, not only did they have issues with Project 7, but they had issues with your way you talked about Scott. They literally say in the video, horrible things about you, saying you're drunk, basically. Of course, they didn't say that. They said this is what they think, that you're drunk.
Yeah, well, the text messages kind of, revealed your hand on that one.
That you're an abusive friend, all this stuff.
Yes, based on your actions, yes.
And I was like, wait a minute, what do you mean? Oh, well, they said that you called them in the middle of the night. Or not called them, excuse me. Texted them in the middle of the night. Sounded like you were drunk. And I was like, oh, shit.
Yeah.
I was like,
yeah, that's actually true. Oh, they talked about that? Oh, fuck.
it's one thing if they put a video out and they're going to say, Phil's a jerk or whatever. It's another thing if they're now telling the internet, oh, so Phil's a depressed drunk, which is essentially what you can piece together from that video. All right?
Based on your own actions, right? It's not like they're making this up either, right? You're going to say that, right?
Now, I said, what do I do about this? So, well, I could address it publicly, or I could take action immediately to make sure that the fucked up things that I'm doing when I'm drunk don't happen again. All right? So what did I do?
You could do both.
Deleted not only their numbers from my phone, I deleted the entire history of us ever talking. All right? Emails. Deleted it all. Because I knew that when you're depressed and drunk,
Because you're scared of them revealing it.
you always want to go back to that shit.
Yeah.
'Cause it's happened to me before. I deleted it all.
Right.
There's nothing. There's no history left. It's
Makes
gone.
zero sense.
From my phone, from everything, from my emails, gone. Nothing. There's no correspondence left between me and them. All deleted. Basically within a day. I got rid of it all. Because I didn't want to have a chance that I would get drunk and depressed again and
Right.
reach out to them again. Because they made it pretty abundantly clear in this video they didn't ever want to hear from me again. At least
What? What? They said it. They finished with, give me a call. The call you promised. That's how they finished it.
Because they made it pretty abundantly clear in this video they didn't ever want to hear from me again. At least that's the way that I take it. When someone's saying to you, you monetized the death of your friend.
They finished with, please give me the
publicized
call
your
you
death.
promised.
You didn't pay us what you owed us. You constantly said nasty things about us, and we basically have had it. You're
Their last message was, give me the call you promised to give me those years ago. That was the promise.
you're drunk. You're texting us at night, doing all this fucked up stuff. When again, I didn't watch the video yet. This is just people telling me this. So my initial reaction is, I guess I don't want a chance ever doing that again. So I deleted it all. So as of that moment, which is probably like the day after they released the video, I had no chance to ever reach out to them because I didn't have their contact information. I deleted it completely. Okay, I don't have it anymore, which is a good thing. I feel it was the right thing to do, because if I had become drunk again and did something stupid, or if I was depressed, who knows what it would have been at that point.
That's what he's trying to make you think, is he deleted their entire contact information without watching the video yet, based on what people said.
Right? So that was that, and that was done. As I told you, I did not actually watch the recording until months and months, if not like a year later. I'm trying to actually remember.
There you go.
All right? And at that point, like, I deleted everything, and in my mind, I'm thinking, if these guys ever want to talk to me again, they'll reach out to me, and they'll talk to me. They have my information.
They told you to give me the call you promised.
I'm the public figure here. I'm the one who has a YouTube channel, a Twitch channel. I don't know if I was doing YouTube or Twitch at the time, but you know what I'm saying. A Twitter. They still have. They knew my address. They still had my cell phone number. If they had a desire to ever reach out and talk to me ever again, they could have.
Yeah.
All right. But what's funny is, in this video, you've seen it now in its entirety. All right. The things they've said about me, the accusations they've made, I've fessed up to the things that I feel I did. There's a lot of things in this video that are completely either misconstrued or actually completely exaggerated to a point of absurdity. The fact that they would say I publicized and profited off of Scott's death is probably one of the most insulting things anyone could ever say to anyone. And when that is said about me, I don't have a desire to ever talk to you ever again. Okay? That's of all the things you can say in this video, fine. That's the one that's like, you can't come back from that. You know what I'm saying? When I actually finally watched this video and I saw the malicious way that Howard was saying stuff like that, I was like, that is it. I've never.
But you deleted their contact information before knowing that was in there?
Ever will want to speak with this man ever again in my life.
Okay.
I wish him the best. Hope he has a great life. But if anything, what this has shown me is a pattern of behavior of someone who, when they're in your face, they're friendly to you.
Yeah.
They claim they like you. They want to be in stuff with you, content. They want to go on trips. But then all of a sudden, behind your back, they're constantly saying bad things about you. They're saying this and that about you. Oh, you should have paid. You didn't pay. Oh, you should have done this. You didn't do this. You're a bad friend. You're this. You're that. You're publicizing that. You're doing that. What? Wow. And never once was that ever brought up to me. Ever. Howard, not once ever said a word to me negatively. Never.
So why did you keep giving him ultimatums in text then? And also drunk texts?
Okay. Rambo did. A few times. Like I said, probably twice when I lived in Connecticut. Each time we had the conversation, I'm sorry, I screwed up. He forgave me. We moved on positively with our lives. We kept having a relationship where we'd make content together. We'd have fun together. I paid for all the trip shit and all that.
Because you needed someone to drive you and carry stuff. Go ahead.
Most of the time. Not 100% of the time, but most of the time. If it had something to do with, cost of gas, hotel room or whatever, getting access to the events, that was me. It all continued. After these conversations we had that were, oh, you did something wrong. Okay, I'm sorry. I really bad. I was insecure. I screwed up. All right, I forgive you. Great. Let's keep going. Right? Let's have a fun life together here as friends. So the fact that, I moved, and it seemed like the moment I moved, that was the end. The moment I moved, the attitudes changed. Right? The moment I fucking moved, it was, oh, there's another reason why I can't do this. There's another reason. There's another reason. Now I'm not even going to give you the reason anymore. I'm just not going to respond to you anymore. And we already
because you kept bothering him so much.
Through this, so you know the situation. I was in the wrong a lot. But this is not a situation that was one-sided. This is a situation that was kind of two-sided, and it seems to me that now that you watch this in its entirety and you get the frames of reference, what you see happen, it was a combination of many different factors, including trolling to both
The trolling's irrelevant.
us on both sides. I could handle the trolling, even though I very frequently mismanaged it and said dumb shit because of it. I carried on. They could not. They were feeling so hurt by the troll. Oh, your fans, your misguided fans came and insulted me. They were my fans. Those are the same trolls that troll me on a daily basis, but you for some reason thought, right, that they were my fans. They're not. These are the same people. They orchestrated shit to make us get at each other's throats because they like seeing good things end. Right? These miserable fucktards people who just want to end good things on the internet because they can't. They get a good flex out of it. They feel good about themselves when they ruin something good for someone else. And that was a major factor over the years about that. Okay.
So blaming the trolls. We're waiting to hear. It's the slideshow is live, so don't worry. I'm watching the slideshow. Pre-stream has not started.
And you would even say at the end of all of this, you might say, well, Phil, would you ever talk to John and Howard ever again? Howard, no, I'm done. There's zero chance I would ever want to speak another word to that guy.
And he's going to say, if they call me, watch.
It's ridiculous. He interjected himself into this video to begin with. He was not the subject matter. The subject matter was supposed to be the friendship between me and John that ended when I moved for some odd reason that now has been extrapolated upon in this video, right? Why is Howard in this video? Howard doesn't like me for various reasons. You can agree with them, you can disagree with them, maybe you agree with some, you disagree with others.
He has a story to tell, clearly, based on what you've said alone. The drunk texting to him, clearly you cared about him. You gave him 2 ultimatums. So it seems like his word is valuable in this video.
Why is he in this video? The problem was me and Rambo. It always was. We were the ones who were going to have that extended friendship after I moved. How the fuck is he in here? Why does he have to do with any of this? And he's the one who says the most inflammatory things in this video, and it was never part of the equation, ever.
Then why did you drunk text him and give him 2 ultimatums?
Acts like he is. He's not. All right? It's ridiculous.
All right.
The extent that he's in
So
here.
it seems pretty stupid to give ultimatums to people that you don't care about.
The instigator and the things that he's saying about me. I want nothing to do with this guy. I hope he has a great life. I hope he has a great family with kids and all that. I have no idea. I don't follow the guy. I have no clue. I hope that he's happy. All right? I really do. I just want nothing to do with him ever again after this. Now, Rambo, here's the thing. You know, I really did love the guy when we were friends. All right? I did.
Not that much.
100%. I loved the guy. He was one of my closest friends at the time. When I moved, it all ended. It just did. Like, we never were the same after I moved. In fact, I never even felt like we had a meaningful friend-like conversation after I moved, okay? So to me, that friendship ended in 2014. It's now 2022. The guy has no internet presence anymore, all right? I know nothing about it. I hope that he's having a good life. I do. I hope he's having a good life and he's safe somewhere, all right? However, what could possibly come from me talking to Rambo at this point in my life? Let's be honest, all right? Let's be honest. We're disconnected for
If he really is your friend, then you could rekindle a friendship.
20 years. If anything, what I've learned is, sadly, when it comes to me, no matter what, the negativity ends up rubbing off, right?
Yes.
Can we agree there? Like, even if I'm well-intentioned, even if I don't want anything bad to happen, whether it's trolls, whether it's something else negative, it always seems to rub off, all right? I'm going to be honest.
You wanted bad things to happen to him in this case,
another thing that I've never really revealed. You may notice, and by the way, this person I'm about to mention is going to be shocked because he didn't know I was going to bring him up in this video.
Right.
I have a person who I've done co-op with over the years by name Brian, okay? He actually was a friend of Rambo and Howard. He was in Shazman a whole bunch as an actor. Over the years, we've done cooperative gameplay, okay? And he, over the years, has always expressed a desire to do more co-op with me, all right? He's been friendly to me behind the scenes. I've been cold to him, and I don't talk to him that much. And this is why, right? I don't want to engage with a close relationship or friendship with someone outside of maybe every once in a while you get a little bit of co-op or a little bit of interaction, and that's friendly stuff. I don't want to engage in this kind of friendship again because of this. Because I never once had any issue with these guys in person. And the few times that there were, we hashed it out.
Yeah.
But look what happened. Even with all the well-intentions in the world, right? Look what happened, right? It fucking exploded. It got toxic as fuck for everyone. Not just me, for them too. I'm sure on their end, they were constantly being bombarded with toxicity and fucked up things. You know what I'm saying?
Right.
And in that regard, I don't ever want that to happen to anyone else ever again. You know what I'm saying? I don't. I feel like even with the best of intentions, if I had a friendship.
So you had when he needed another co-op partner, though, he quickly changed the rules on that, didn't he?
With someone like that, it would just go toxic again. I really feel this, and I know.
So why did it go toxic exactly?
Because Brian's a really good guy. He's a nice guy. He's friendly. Every once in a while, he hits me up with like a text. He's like, "What's going on? I want want to do some, let's talk, or I'll just be friends, or you want to do a co-op or whatever." And I know he feels that I ghost him. I don't talk to him a lot. That's on purpose. I feel like I almost feel like how can I say it? Like I'm poison. If I try to be friendly with someone for any extended period of time,
why am I poison?
It's fucked up to think that way. I know, but I do. I've got this stigma stuck in my head about this, that this will always happen in my life. You know what I'm saying? I feel like any kind of interaction that I ever would have with Rambo would just be bad for him. That he's probably out there having a good life. He's probably out there having a great time. And I want him to have a great life and a happy life and a family, whatever he wants. I want him to have success. I want him to have notoriety. I want him to love life. All right? Because we had these years together.
I want you to love life. Then why can't you call him?
Loving life when we were together and we were doing fun stuff together. I know for a fact because you told me. There was always fucked up stuff that was happening kind of in our personal lives, but we were together doing co-op, we were traveling for a trip, we were having a good time together. That was the highlight, right? So I said, to them, it seemed like it was business. To me, that was fun. To me, that was the fun shit. The fact that I made $1 doing it was hilarious. I mean, I'm having fun with my friends. We're making money doing it. This is ridiculous. How this is like the best of all situations, the best of all worlds.
Yeah, so why did you make that the most important thing with any interaction with them?
I'm saying, and now I look back at that fondly, but I don't think it'll ever happen again. You know what I'm saying?
Yes,
now I'm a very different guy now, by the way. I make different content, okay, for a different kind of audience. I am married, happily married. I live across the country. All right, I'm separate. I'm in a situation now where I'm able to successfully make content that doesn't need to have that anymore. I don't rely on someone else to be a part of my content to have that. You know, there's no possibility toxicity to come over. Why doesn't Phil do online co-op with his viewers? This is why toxicity. The trolls getting involved, fucking things up for everyone. Why do I not have any friends outside of my wife? Because this is why the toxicity. Why does my wife?
Isn't that a bad thing? It's kind of scary, actually. Can't even have friends.
And I having private life that isn't publicized on the internet. This is why. You see? This is something that's happened to me over and over and over in my life now. Since I became a YouTuber, I'm seeing this happen with even my closest of friends who are supposed to be, you know, the biggest friends of my life, and look what happened. So
because of how you treated them.
How can I say that would not happen again if I were to invite other people into my life as friends, right? So that's why. And, oh, you know, do I have time for friends? In reality, I don't have a lot of time for friends either. I wouldn't really have much or any time for friends. If anything, I want to spend more time with my wife to begin with anyway. But I don't even get past that first step. You know what I'm saying? I don't even get past that first step of, oh, let's go past the step of, oh, we did a co-op together online, we had some fun, playing Apex Legends or whatever. Let's now extend that to personal life, have personal conversations. I don't want to go there. I just don't. Because it's toxic shit, and I'm afraid. I am afraid. I'm afraid what's to stop history from repeating itself. I'm in a good place right now, personally in my life. I'm happy with my life. I wish I had more time to spend with my family. I just spent 12 hours on a stream. I'm sure my wife's furious with me, because I'm pretty sure she didn't expect me to be on here as long as I was. Okay?
I'm sure my wife is furious with me. Right.
If anything, what I will leave you guys with is this.
Please,
all right?
yeah. Finish
Some
up.
advice, things that I've learned. The first life lesson that I learned out of all of this, all right?
Drunk texts are a good thing, and give ultimatums to your friends, but then you can blame them for the reason the friendship fell apart, and then beg people for money.
Is if you're going to mix business with friendship, you absolutely, positively must have a contract. Doesn't
That's
matter
what
how
you
friendly you
learned?
are with the people. It does not matter. If I said that'll never happen to us. The same product. Everyone knows what's going on, and there's no is what we agreed to. Chris was going to start pulling out wads of money and shit, and I was paying for stuff told otherwise. Jeez, hold on.
He used his wife as a human shield, says he uses his wife as a human shield. Next.
Separate your private life from your public life. Even if you're an internet content creator, you have to have a separation. You can't have every moment of your life documented and put on the internet. And if you have a friendship that's based around things that are only public, it's not really a friendship. Okay? With John, I absolutely had moments that we had private stuff behind the scenes. With Howard, that was never the case. We almost never had anything unless we were making content or whatever for the internet or going to a Street Fighter tournament. You know, that was our
And when
interaction.
you were giving him ultimatums and drunk texts behind the scenes.
It's not a real friendship, okay?
Yeah, definitely.
You should absolutely have a separation between the public and the private, because when you only have everything public facing on the internet, all right, that's when it all goes wrong. You have to have actual, you know, relationships and understandings behind the scenes, or else it's not really a relationship, in my opinion. Okay. Lastly, the last thing I leave you with,
please,
for our longest stream ever, all right, never be afraid to be upfront and honest with someone about anything. Okay. Never.
He's talking to John and Howard right now.
Same thing that I said in my video from 2015. Sorry, I still believe in it today. If you have an issue with someone, excuse me, I just belched. Tell them. Be upfront and honest and transparent about it. Don't let it stir. Don't let it fester. You know, with John, he did bring up things from time to time with me, and that was good. With Howard, that never happened. He never said a word to me negative, but then he says all this shit behind my back. Apparently, again, the circle of friends that hate me, and then he's involved in the video even though he's not even my friend. What the fuck is this? Right?
Because you wronged him multiple times, and he wanted to tell you.
Don't be afraid to be honest and upfront. If you are honest and upfront with someone about an issue, and they're angry with you because you were, all right, that's not someone who respects you, right? That's not a friend. A friend should be appreciative of the fact that you want to address issues and get them worked out. A friend should be someone who's not offended when you bring up their shortcomings because you want them to understand that you want them to be better. Okay?
Okay, so why are you so pissed about Howard telling his side of the story then?
It wasn't like that with them because when John brought shit up, every time I was like, oh my God, that feeling, like, I can't believe I fucking pissed off John. He's the one person I never want to piss off on this planet. And I did because I fucked up. I did stupid shit, you know? I was never
didn't care enough to call him.
angry that John ever brought up something to me that he called me out for. I was happy that he did.
Slideshow's still going, by
I let
the
him
way.
down as a friend over the years, and that's sad to me, you know? And I think at this point, like I said, this is it for me. I'm not bringing this up again. We've covered it for 12 fucking hours. Well, more like 10 hours. I'm done with this shit, all right? I'm not talking to Howard ever again. Maybe at some crazy, random chance, at one point in the future, I will talk to Rambo, excuse me. But at this point in my life, I've moved on. I don't think anything good could ever come of it. Being honest, if he called me right now, I'd be like, I don't think I want to answer that phone. Because the moment I answer it, the toxic shit starts coming through the lines again. And I don't want him to be touched by that. I'm sure he has a great life at this point, you know, away from all that shit. He doesn't want to be wrapped up in that shit again. I want him to be happy and separated from this toxic shit that has become my life. You know what I'm saying? So, I hope this is the end of it. You have questions moving forward about John and Howard, watch this. That's it. Done with it. I moved on completely. Not even a topic of discussion for me. All right, I'm a different person now. It's a different life, and I hope that at least some of you learned something out of me doing this.
Yeah.
Maybe this will help you to stop.
We learned exactly how you think about your friends and how fucked up your relationships are.
The same exact mistakes that I made over time.
Yeah.
I'm not a perfect guy.
Thank you.
Not even close to being a perfect guy. I made tons of mistakes. I'm very regretful of the fact that these guys were hurt by me, and it's sad the way it ended. But that's
I wouldn't take back the drunk texts.
life. I think 7 years later, probably all happy with how our lives went. I know I am. I hope they are. And that's that. Okay, guys? That's it. Holy shit. Like I told you guys, I need a break from drama. I'm not doing this shit for a long time. That was too long. Done. We're ending it right now. Thank you for watching. Whether you watched on stream, you watched on demand on YouTube, I hope that you learned something.
Didn't learn anything.
Fuck out. Jesus Christ. What did I just...
There we go, guys. So, wow, what a series it's been. 8 parts now, and this really tells you a lot about how DSP operates. You know what I'm saying? It just started the show now, so I'm going to end this stream. You're going to be redirected to the pre-stream. Big ups for anybody that stuck through this whole thing. There is a playlist for this whole series if you want to watch it out. But in summary, it definitely very well outlines the exact way Philip thinks about his friends. And that is, they are all tools to get what he wants. And he's not willing to put in any of the work that is required to have actual give and take, which real friendships are all about, right? So, anyways, you're all legends. See you on the other side of this one. Thanks for watching. See you in a second.